What's going on, Spurs fan? Will Stewart here with another THFC rant. Today we're going to talk about whether Gareth Bale crossed the line. Harry Kane, is he coming back or is he staying for the rest of his career? And is Son Heung Min also moving on this summer? That's something we're going to talk about here today. And before we get started on that, let's go ahead and roll that intro. All right. So yeah, I scheduled this stream yesterday at 1 o'clock, and I forgot that there was a U23 or a Olympic qualifying match between the United States and Mexico tonight. So I don't know how many folks are going to be here, but I've got that on over here. So if you're watching, it can kind of be like a little watch along. I'll respond to that match over here as well. I don't have the sound on or anything like that. I've got it on the other monitor over here next to the screen. And it's halftime now. 0-0 going into halftime. But yeah, so the link is in the chat. If you want to come on the chat, go ahead and grab that link and jump into the show. It's open to anyone. American, Australian, Korean, British, from anywhere in the world. If I can speak one of your languages, you're welcome to come on the show. And hopefully we have a good show tonight. I've got some different things to talk about. It's a lot more fun if somebody joins the show with me. So if you're out there and you want to jump in, go ahead and do that. Also, too, I want to thank you guys. It's kind of like I started this channel a week tomorrow. So 7 full days that we've been running this show. And you guys have been absolutely amazing. In about a week, we've got about 125 subscribers, over 1,000 views, and I really just want to. Oh, that's right, Mexico 1-0 at halftime. I forgot. Yeah, they scored right at the very end. I forgot about that. It happened as I was setting up the stream. But anyway, yeah, I just want to say thank you guys for joining me for all this stuff and watching all of our content. So Jose's watching it too. Not much, man. What's going on? We've got Mexican Spurs here correcting me on the score. That's right. Mexico 1, US 0 at halftime. There's a good goal there right at the end of the first half. AK Gaming says hello. And Kenneth, Tottenham Hotspur, the only man with a Tottenham Hotspur in his name in the entire world. Thank you for coming back and watching the show. But yeah, I've updated my lighting a little bit and changed my background ever so slightly. Hope you guys like it. I think it fits the mood better. This being a late show in the evening, right? You gotta have that, that late night TV show type vibe, right? So yeah. Anyway. So before people start jumping on here and giving me their opinion, just want to talk a little bit about my opinions on the Gareth Bale situation. So after watching the interviews and both interviews and having a day to kind of process what's going on and what's been going on, I really think that this whole deal is really kind of a nothing burger, right? And that I don't know what people wanted Gareth Bale to say, right? The original plan, the original deal that he had signed with Spurs was to go back to Real Madrid, right? There was never a guarantee of a second year. Spurs haven't offered him one yet. And whether he I would guess, would you rather stay and play for Tottenham for one more year or sit on the bench at Real Madrid? I would say that he's probably wanting to stay. But the reporter really put him in a tough situation. And then people bring up the fact about the comments about getting away from the club situation. Well, the results and the mood in the locker room hasn't been exactly, great over the past couple of days, right? So, yeah, I just don't understand why people are really freaking out and getting overly upset about it. And did you watch The Amazing Keeper on Jan? I'm gonna need a little bit more explanation on that comment, but thank you for the compliment on my stream. And beer or tequila tonight? Tonight I've got water. My son had training tonight, and I ran out of beer the other day, and I haven't had a chance to go to the store and pick one up. So he had training tonight, and after dinner and getting everything settled down, it was pretty tough to get to the store in time for my stream. But I've got some water to help keep my mouth moist. Creator ES is in the house as well. Thank you for joining. But yeah, so back to Gareth Bale. I really don't think that it's that much that we have to really deal or worry about it. I think that in order for him to save face, right, he has an amount of pride as a professional player. And don't take this as me sticking up for Gareth Bale like with any type of bias. Honestly, do I think that he's the best option that we have right now in that position? Yeah. But do I think that that's something that we're going to go with long term or anything like that? No, absolutely not. I've been a pretty high proponent while everyone is focusing on center backs and right backs and goalkeepers that we really need a quality right wing. I've seen some news in the press today that Tottenham's going after a right wing, but it's really not a player that I necessarily want, to be honest with you. And it's been a rough, thing watching all of that without really looking to see what's going on. And I really think we should go after Leon Bailey. I know that a couple of the other people that we've gone to, they've been, decent, proponents of that. But and I think I just messed up my stream a little bit there. Yeah, you see that there. I clicked on the thing to open something up, but it'll go away in a little bit. Got to bring that brightness down a little bit. Yeah, but so I mean, tell me why. Put your guys' opinions in the chat about the Gareth Bale situation that I can respond to, and yeah, just let me know what you guys' thoughts are on the Gareth Bale situation, and whether you think that he was intentionally trying to, throw the club under the bus, or if it was more just a, kind of just a thoughtless answer to a question. And then while you guys are thinking about that and putting that stuff in the chat, what do you guys think about this Harry Kane news? What is your guys' consensus on this Harry Kane issue? Do we think that Harry Kane is going to stay for the rest of his career, or do we think that he's going to move on in the summer? That's another big question. A1, do we need him to move on in the summer in order to get the money in order to rebuild what we need? And yeah, or is it something that we don't want to do? I wouldn't mind keeping him forever. What's going on, Full Mince? And 92 Flamethrower. It's really nothing serious. You just said the right things. But if you just read the quote, it sounds bad. And for Awesome Awe, who's in the backstage, I'm going to bring you on here in a minute. But before I do that, I want to get onto the Son issue. And I want to show you guys a couple things. And I'm going to tell you right now that there is a cultural aspect of it that I don't think a lot of people understand. And I just went through a little bit today, and I just grabbed like the first 5 or 6 videos of things going on in Korean stuff. So you've got here's a thing from one Korean YouTube channel saying that, based on information that they found from Football Insider, Sources that Levy will be all over PSG this summer and that they're going to sell Son to PSG. You got another channel that's saying, he's going to Manchester United. More information about him going to PSG. And got more stuff about him going to PSG. You can see PSG down there at the bottom that basically says, he's going to go to PSG in the summer to be with Pochettino, right? And I mean, that's the whole thing. They're really wanting Son to leave. But Asamal, if you're ready, I'm going to go ahead and bring you into the stream, my man, and we'll let you have your say on what you think about the topics tonight. You want me to vlog it off? How you doing, my man? Good. Let me adjust my thing here, because for some reason, every time I play a video and I need to bring somebody in, my audio goes out on the speaker side of things and I can't hear anybody for some reason. So let me switch this over to something else. And we'll see if I can hear you now. Man, I'm going to tell you what, this computer drives me absolutely nuts. I don't know what it is about every time that I go live and I bring if I play a video in the stream, and then I bring somebody on, all of a sudden my speakers go bad. Let me grab that 1 second. All right, I've got you now. How you doing tonight, man? You're muted. If you could unmute your mic for me. There should be a little button that looks like that's the video one. If you have an unmute button there on your mic, you can click that and you'll be able to hear you. Oh, he jumped out. I think he's got to fix his audio problems and then he'll be back. But yeah, just on going what I was saying, let's go to the comments now. I saw some comments jump in here. And Mr. K says, hey, what's going on? Knowledge is the power. Bale, not the sharpest knife in the draw. I think Bale's agent is in his ear. Honestly, I don't know if it's necessarily Bale's agent. I just think Bale, he never really gives really high constructive, high quality interviews. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's always kind of just, yeah, he had his mic. I thought it was on my end, but he had his mic muted. I think he had an audio issue. I think he might have had to select the wrong audio. But awesome, all. If you can get that, oh, here he is. Boom, you're on now.
Yeah. Can you hear me better now?
I can hear you now. You're loud and clear, my man.
Sorry about that.
No problem.
All right.
Welcome to the show, man. It's the first time we've had you on.
Well, welcome. I mean, I've been following you for a while. I mean, not quite you. The whole the Tottenham TV. What's it called? What's my man's name there? The Irish.
David Harris, the Irish Hotspur.
David Irish Hotspur. Yeah. All you guys for about a while now. I've just been on the background, trying not to speak much. To be honest with you, I'm gonna start with Jose. Let me just put Jose in real quick.
Sure.
Before I say that, I'll mention one or two things about Gareth Bale. I'm gonna ask you a question.
Sure.
And I just want you to give me a series of yes or no.
All right.
Before Gareth came to Tottenham, right?
Mm-hmm.
What was he really doing in Spain? Really, literally.
Sitting on the bench.
Not doing anything. Not really care to do anything. When he mentioned the statement today, he said, hey, I came here to get to gym and get ready for Euro. And if you remember very, very, very carefully well, that was the same thing Winks said to Jose. I want to play because I want to go to Euro. If I'm a player in Europe and I look left and right, look around, where can I go and get a paycheck and I don't have to do anything? Tottenham Hotspur is the best place to go. Just go there, make your money, and you are not reliable. You are not responsible to do anything. You just go there and just chill.
Yeah.
Pretty much. That's the reason why I'm going to Jose. But I'm gonna go from Jose to Guardiola. Guardiola and Jose are ruthless coach. If they tell you something, you don't do it, they don't want you. Do you know Sonny left Manchester City to go to Germany because Guardiola wasn't having it with him. Because sometimes some players think they are bigger than the club. And the moment a player feels they are bigger than the club, that's it. They don't want to do anything. They don't feel like they should do anything. And they don't want to be responsible for anything. I love Jose. The moment I watch his documentary when he lost his job at Manchester United, when he went to Portugal, if you go and watch that documentary, then you need to, as a Tottenham Hotspur, every Tottenham Hotspur, I'm begging you, go and watch that documentary from beginning to the end. Then you will see how Jose thinks. Jose is not a hard person to deal with. Jose doesn't play defense, even though people say he plays defense. He only plays defense when there's no way out. Because technically, let's assume, I'm going to ask you again, if you were the coach, again, that's another question. You were the coach here today. Remember, Poch, you don't want none of these players anyway. None of them anyway. But if you had the coach coming into this club, you don't have defense, zero defense. How would you play the team?
You have to bring all the guys back to help out.
There you go. So, and everybody, and this guy brought all the guys to the back, and guess what? Went to the top of the league. Went to the top of the league. And everybody was like, why? I don't want that. I don't want this. I want to play like Leeds. I like the way Leeds are playing. But guess what? Leeds are playing, but they are so good to watch. I watch Leeds. I was like, wow, those things are good, but they always lose. They always lose.
Even with the horrible season we've had, we're higher in the table.
I know. If you watch Leeds are so. Leeds remind me of Tottenham in the back of the days under Poch. But they lose all the time. They lose. The game is interesting, it's entertaining, but they lose. And that's the bottom line. The way Guardiola plays that is different, which Jose is trying to get Tottenham to, is you need a defense. Believe me, let's assume this was Burnley. If the team was Burnley, let's add Lamela, Kane, Son, and what's his name? The French guy that dribbles a lot. What's his name?
Sissoko?
No.
Ndombele, yeah.
Ndombele to Buntley's team. Trust me, that is what you need. Because if you watch the way Buntley play, they play with passion. The only thing they have, and they play with defense. This is the same thing everybody's complaining about. Counteract game is the same thing. Buntley play is the same thing. The same guy you guys are asking for in Leicester City. That's the same game he plays. That's the same game this guy plays. And you're asking the same guy that's playing the same thing. That is, this same guy was training under Jose back in the days in Chelsea. It used to be under Jose. That's the same game. But the problem is they have a solid defense. If you don't have defense, you're not giving him money, and you're expecting a miracle to drop out of the sky. I don't know how you do it. If you watch every game from beginning to the end, Kane is the best striker, is the best midfielder, and is the best defender. Because if you watch how this guy plays, he runs all the way. As soon as they wanted to play any free kick from that's caused by Aurier or Dyer, Kane always run inside the box to on the other side of the goalkeeper to head the ball out. If you notice that, he moves from defending the ball right inside the post to head the ball out. If you watch it very, very well, he has done that number one like more than 20 times. But why does your striker have to be the one to go inside the post? That should be a defender's job, right? Because the defense doesn't know what to do. They don't know where to be and how to control the game. They don't know. When you see a ball, you should be able to read the game the minute before the ball gets to you. I'm a kind of guy, I read the ball by called a 6-second touch. If the ball is still on your foot after 6 seconds, then you don't know what to do with the ball. If you have the ball on your foot more than 6 seconds, you don't know what to do with the ball. You're just holding on to the ball. Because it takes at least 10 seconds or 10 to 15 seconds for someone to run across from the other side to go back to their position and defend the ball. If you notice that once the ball gets to Kane, he doesn't even have to look before he shoots it down to Son. And if you look between the two combinations, which Son and Kane, they just play the ball without even looking where each other is going. And if you look at one of the games that he played the last time, Kane missed to score the goal because he was running so fast than the ball. Because he's busy running all the way from defense to come and supply the ball. And everything that's been going on in the club, it has to do with one thing. Some players don't want to play for the club. They just want to play for their pockets and fill their pockets and keep moving. And that's it. If we keep dragging, this excuse, that is the bottom line. The people that played on that field that day are the people that are fighting, that wants Jose to be there, and they believe in Jose's policy. The ones that are still like playing around is the ones that are trying to get Jose out so they can have some more time to keep on their contract before another coach comes in and figure them out. By the time another coach comes in and figure them out, it's maybe like 2-3 years down the line. Say this guy is no good. Because if a new coach comes in, he has to go through every player. He has to play every player before he knows which one is good, which one is bad. By that time, pretty much their contract is already gone, half of the deal. So they've enjoyed their contract. Unlike, we got to sell him, we got to get rid of this, it's different. And that is why they are fighting against Jose. Bottom line with that. Like the guys like Wings, Sissoko. If you look at Sissoko in the beginning of the season, this guy was diving, getting ball out of the whole point of Jose to keep the defense that he has in the back from going forward is he needs the midfielder to take the ball away from an attack. The moment a midfielder cannot take the ball, they are going straight into the net. Because guess what? Lloris doesn't trust the people in front of him.
Yeah.
He doesn't trust the people in front of him. And the idea is, why bother? That is why if you look at him very well, he doesn't catch the ball. He kicks the ball. Anytime they play any ball to him, he uses his leg to stop the ball. He never uses, and anytime he pulls his hand, he pushes the ball. He never catches the ball. You know why? Because if he dives and he breaks his arm and his side is collarbone again. Remember the last time he did it, the last injury was a dive, and because he doesn't trust
shoulder or elbow, yeah.
Yes. So why would you want to be doing that when you know you don't trust the people in front of you? Because you'll be doing that, diving constantly, like 10 times every 5 seconds. You have to be diving because everybody. And look at the goal. The guy from Croatia. I went on. We had Tottenham TV and put a super chat, and I said, Croatians, the way Croatians play, when they are being brought up, they play a game. Normally, the game is 90 minutes, right? Mm-hmm. They play a game for 150 minutes growing up. So if you watch them very well, you know they were second in the last World Cup.
Yeah.
Was it second or third? And all their game that they won went into extra time. Did you notice that? And as soon as they get into extra time, the opponent loses. But if you see their energy, it keeps generating more energy because they are used to playing games past 90 minutes. Every player is used to play a game 90 minutes and they're done. But then they play for longer. And all the goals and the thing that they scored is usually after the 90 minutes. And when we were playing with the lower league in thing, I tweeted on that and said, watch out for these guys. They don't get tired until after, after 90 minutes, these guys, that's when their energy starts over.
Yeah.
If you go on their website and go and look at that chart very well, you'll see when I tell you, these guys have energy. After 90 minutes, that's when their energy starts building up. After 90 minutes, we are burnt out.
Yeah. No, I agree.
And the goals started coming up close to 90 minutes, right? And after 90 minutes, right?
Yeah.
And I saw all the defenders like walking beside them, like pretty much a little bit jogging around the player that is going to score. And Lloris was looking at them like, what are you guys doing?
Yeah, no, you're right. But before we go on a little farther, let's introduce Jose here, right? Let's let Jose come in and say hello.
Hi, Jose. Sorry.
Hey, how's it going, guys? No worries.
Tell us a little bit about yourself, Jose, and what do you think about topics for tonight or anything else that you want to talk about?
Yeah.
No, just on the West Coast here. Really glad that you got this whole thing set up for this part of the world.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is it Jose or Jose? How do you pronounce your name?
It's Jose. Yeah, Jose.
It's Jose. Yeah.
No. Jose gets mad if you call him Jose. So
that's right. Yeah, that's right. He's very picky about it. No, I started following Spurs pretty recently, actually. I was watching the 2018 World Cup, the South Korea versus Mexico game.
Yeah.
And then extra time, the game was already over. Son comes out and hits a screamer from outside the box. And I'm like, I know that guy from somewhere. And so I started going from there and, looked him up, and then just Spurs became my team, and it's been that way ever since.
So another Son convert then, right? So
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I was gonna say for Bale's situation, his comments. I think the reporter, she probably saw his little reaction he had when he got pulled against Arsenal.
Yeah.
And was probably looking for some kind of scoop, some kind of breaking news, like, oh, he's not happy or something. And when in reality, I think his comments were just based on what he knows at the moment. There probably hasn't been any discussion on if he's staying or if he's going between him and the club.
Yeah. So
he's just probably saying what he knows as a matter of fact at the current moment, which is that as of right now, he's probably going back. He's going back to Madrid next season.
Right. I mean, that's all he knows right now at this time, right? So I mean, what do you make of all the hoopla on social media about the situation?
I think they're just reading too much into it. I agree with you. It's not something to be. I didn't take it as disrespectful at all. Or it's.
I mean, I thought that maybe it could be a little bit insensitive, like he didn't really think the answer through correctly. But I didn't necessarily take it as him trying to, poke the bear or discredit the club or, make light of the fact why he was there. I mean, he's talking to a Wales reporter about the Wales matches, right? So the focus being on that competition, it only makes sense to me, right? And so
it's like he was trying to keep her on track. Like, hey, we're talking about Wales here, not
my
club. So I see that as well, and yeah, I agree with you. I don't think it should be anything to, be too concerned about.
And so, Asamal, what do you think about the Bale situation? Like, you went on with, you talked about your opinions on Jose and his problems and stuff like that. What do you think about the Bale situation?
Yeah, I mean, Bale, I see it in two different perspectives. Number one, like I said, I saw it in a way like Winks went to Jose and said, play me because I want to play Euro. For because I'm trying to link. You have to link 1 + 1 to make 2. Why would Winks, of all people, go to Jose and demand, like, play me because I need to get to Europe? Why?
He's the best.
Because because it's something that they are talking about in the locker room. It's a talk. Everybody knows that Gareth wants to play for Wales. He already displayed that when he was in Spain, Wales, golf, and we know. And Real Madrid, that's how he follows. We already know how he works. So he doesn't play with Wales. This thing that is up, the contract was signed for that purpose, pretty much. Why he came here, we know. But you don't have to put it in our face like, yeah, that's what I'm doing. It's already written there. Everybody knows. But the fact that what I feel is, it shouldn't be, that statement shouldn't have come from him. It shouldn't have come from him, period. Especially now that everything looks shaky and some players wants to get Jose out. I mean, it's just not the right fit. And for you to be boldly and say it means like, okay, I don't care or I do care. It's like two ways. And when I listen to the people on ESPN, listen to other comments, social media, everybody's saying, some people say no, some people say yes, some people said it's just insensitive, just like Ozzy said. It's just insensitive. Why would you say that right this second? For you to say that, you must be bold enough to, because one of the guys was saying he's just trying to play his card. Like, wants to play his card, like, okay, I want to stay, but I know Levy's going to say no, because imagine, we have £235,000 that will get you 4 good players. And we are giving it to one person who doesn't want to really play counteracting game, which is okay, which is understandable. But at least, if that's the case, let Jose play you at 10 or play you at 9. He doesn't want to play 9. He doesn't want to play 8. He doesn't want to play 9. He doesn't want to play 10. He wants to play in the wings. And if you want to play at the wings, then you have to do something. You cannot say, I'm just going to stand and work. Because I watched the game with Arsenal. He was literally walking while Doherty was surrounded with 4 Arsenal players. He was literally walking around. But I watched him on the previous 2 games before that. He was tackling. It stopped a couple of games.
Yeah, his defensive stats are actually pretty good. If you actually look at his defensive stats,
why would you not do that? The only reason why is he wants Jose out. He just feel like he wants Jose out. It's part of the crew. I want Jose out, and I'm gonna lose this European game so that Jose could be out. Technically, if this wasn't coronavirus, if Levy has funds available, Jose would have been gone losing that game. Period.
I'm not so sure about that. I think that Jose and Levy kind of have this thing, right? So Levy's been kind of waiting to bring in Jose for quite a while. And I think that they have a kind of an understanding that they're going to see these 3 years out. Like, they're going to go through and they're going to act regardless of the results or do whatever. I think they have an internal plan, and that, because I don't think Jose would have come in, guaranteeing a certain thing without getting a certain guarantee from the owner. And so I think that if they had an agreement where, like, we want your main goal is to get top 4, but if you don't do that, then we're going to sack you. And then but in return, we're going to make sure that we get, these number of players in these specific positions. And then because of coronavirus, Daniel Levy kind of had to change his position. Well, then you can't necessarily expect and or hold Jose to a standard if he hasn't provided him with the tools in order to reach that standard. So,
yeah, I speaking of what you just said just now, I listened to a guy called Yonis. I think it's Yonis.
Yeah.
He's a Chelsea blogger, and also Torrance. There's a guy called Torrance. It's TERRACACE. It's a very popular guy for Manchester United. So Yonis, I listened to his take on Jose. What he said is, it says, if you give him what he wants, it would get you a cup. It would even win you a Champions League if you give him what he wants.
Yeah.
But the problem is you're not giving him what he wants and you're expecting him to do miracles. It's not going to happen, period. And that's how a lot of people feel. Give him what he wants, you get what you want. But Jose doesn't mind rebuilding. But you have to rebuild on the people that wants to. When I watched the Amazon documentary, right? He said, I don't want to use the word see, or he said you should be aggressive and get this, get that, get that. People say, oh, the way Jose treats Ali was bad. I don't think it was bad. I think it was like tough love. If you have a child that is failing in school, you want them to get it, you have to like, okay, no games, no TV, no this, no that, no that, right? It's not because you hate the child, you're just trying to make the child grow. And I noticed that Jose, if you look at the games from the beginning till now, which nobody probably think about it, Jose have technically been protecting the number 10 spot for Ali the whole time. If you look at, he put Dumbele there for a while. He took Dumbele out. The only person that fits in there that works properly is Lo Celso.
Yeah.
And Gio Lo Celso has been injured. So
I
since
think
that
because
point,
we didn't have a person to put in there, right? So I mean, and so that's why he had to throw kind of more into that spot because he doesn't want to play Winks or Sissoko in that number 8 spot. So he had to move Ndombele back because I think the Sissoko and Winks are kind of the main, I guess you could say, the poison.
There you go. There you go. So my thing is, I prefer Dumbele in 10 actually. But if you see the goal, that I think that goal should be the goal of the season that is scored from the corner, just tipping it in across. Even the goalkeeper didn't know the ball was going in, and it went in.
Yeah.
From the wings, from the left wing, and he kicked it over, and the ball just went straight into the net.
Yeah.
And the one for Lamela. But the two people that right now, after I think as soon as he noticed that Ali doesn't even want it anymore. It's like it's done. He has given up. That is when he put Lucas Moura there.
Yeah.
Because
No,
Lucas Moura,
I think Moore's done really good there, and I'm going to rein you in here for a little bit. So Jose, what are your thoughts on the Kane situation or Jose? Sorry, I'm too Jose.
Yeah, you're too used to it. Look, obviously it'd be amazing to keep him forever, but as we know, he is getting older, and the pace is going to go down. I don't think he's going to be a Jamie Vardy where he's older and still having the pace to get in behind. The price tag is pretty hefty to let him go, but it would definitely open up a lot of space to bring in some other talent.
That's if because like Brian Daigle says that he doesn't think that if we were to sell Kane for the 120 million, suppose that Levy wouldn't use.
Oh, we wouldn't even give him that. Yeah, that's right. I heard that.
Even used all of it. I mean, if you check out the last stream, I'm sure I think you were on it the whole time, but they were he was going on and on and on over Jose Daniel Levy and how horrible of a person he was, and that we'd be lucky to see 35-40 million out of that 120 million if we still can. And honestly, with the comments saying that we've lost 150 million of unrecoverable funds, and now we've got to and so if we sell something, we got to take that and bring that in. I mean, that's absolutely I don't necessarily agree it. And then Asamal, what do you think about Harry Kane and if he's going to stay or if he's going to run?
Based on the report I read, he said his family is settled down there, that there's no reason for him to go. He doesn't really want to go, but at the same time, he needs something to show for it. And I also had a particular one of the video people that I watch on YouTube says that Manchester City is keen on buying him. Like they want to buy him. They really want him because um, right
They want to buy
now,
everybody.
right now they play like the kind of game that they play. That's what Guardiola used to play in Barcelona, and that's why I'm saying that I I have a feeling that Jose, if they give him at least, let me say, give him 5 players, 2 center back, 1 midfielder, and 1 wing,
Right winger
right back,
or
and
right.
one wing, right winger. You will win a Champions League with that. You would win a
Yeah,
Champions League
if
with that.
for quality. But see,
So,
here's the problem. Here's the hard part about this particular club and the scouting system that's going on is, now granted, from a fan's point of view, right? We've all played Football Manager, right? And it's you just go out and if you have the coins or whatever, you just buy the guy and he's on your team. I'm sure it's definitely not as easy as that, but there's got to be a way to go out there and actually find quality players without breaking the bank. Because I mean, they're there. It happens all the time.
I mean,
Especially in markets
look.
outside of Europe.
Okay, for example, look at Oibog.
Yeah,
How did we get him?
yeah,
3 million. 3 million with a player add-on, right?
yeah.
But that is Jose's player. You see the difference if you compare Oibog
Amazing so far, yeah.
to Sissoko. Who would you choose?
Hoiberg.
Yeah, there you go. Just like
I choose
Leipzig.
Lamella over Sissoko right now. And
That's
that's
it. Just like Leipzig. The guy in Leipzig, what's his name? The midfielder in Leipzig, the captain. The guy from Leipzig, the captain there,
Sabitzer?
Sabitzer. That's Jose's player. He said, I want Sabitzer. I want a defense from Inter Milan. But because of the games that uh, Levy was playing with them over what's his name? Over the money for the guy, what's his name? This guy, the guy that was sold to them, Inter Milan.
To Inter Milan or to
Yeah,
Southampton?
because of the game, that's why they won't let
Christian Eriksen?
Ericsson. Because of Ericsson, that's why they won't let the other guy go. That's why they're like, oh, we won 50 million. Is offering them 20 million, 30 million. No, you're just playing them around. Like, if that guy was already here, you see how the guy is performing for the guy that was there before. They don't want him before.
Yeah,
They
but
never wanted
what
him.
I'm saying though is that their scouting system, you have players, quality players who want to come
But
talk to
all
them.
those scouted players, it wasn't the scouter that is doing that. It's Jose that is doing that. Because I heard that Jose was the one influencing most of those people to come because the club don't even want to sell them.
I know, but what I'm saying is Jose is influencing them to come here, but the scout department isn't making it happen, and Daniel Levy's not making it happen either. And he wants to nickel and dime people.
There you go. That is why
what we need. I mean,
think
about this year's losses in funds, right? So
I know
if you saved a little bit of money, say you save 50 million pounds by not bringing in those players this season plus their wages, right? But you've lost, you've potentially lost Champions League revenue. That's at least $150 million in TV rights, or 150 million pounds in TV rights. You've lost the possibility of Europa League money. You've lost the possibility of trophy money. If we'd have won the Europa League, we would have had prize money in that. So are you saving money by skimping out and not forking out the extra 5 to 10 million pounds to pick up players like, we could have gotten Grealish for, a really low fee too.
There you go.
We could have gotten,
Grealish, what 100 million right now?
We could have gotten Fernandez for an extra 10 to 15 million. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, just think what we would have done if we would have had Bruno Fernandez had agreed to personal terms with the club and didn't come over an extra 5 or 10.
But that guy wasn't even supposed to be playing 10. It was a DM. That guy was a DM that they put into number 10, and he's kicking it at number 10.
Yeah.
Like,
we
wow.
If we had Bruno Fernandes, we'd be probably top of the league right now. I
We'll
don't
be
know.
talking- the thing
At
is,
one player, we'd be top of the league.
Bruno Fernandes is not a good player. Don't get me wrong. Bruno Fernandes is not a good player. But you know what a good player is? Is a player that can read the game.
Not a good player. He's got the second most goal contributions of any player.
That's what I'm saying. The reason
He's
why
leading this club to victory.
The reason why he became a good player is because he can read the game. When you can read the game, you can do anything. Like Harry Kane cannot speed. Harry Kane cannot run fast, but Harry Kane can read the game.
Yeah,
that's why he knows where to be. He knows where Son is going to be. That is why if you look at him very well, he falls back and asks either the defense or the midfield to pass the ball to him.
Yeah. And for all the Man United fans who are out there watching this after the fact or right now, I don't think there's any watching right now, but any people who see this out on YouTube, if you pull Bruno Fernandes out of your club, you drop to at least 6th or 7th place right now.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
That one player.
Yeah.
And we could have had.
And that's what I'm saying. The difference between him is because he can read the game. If you have 4 players that can sit there and read the game, you'll be very good. But when you have 4 players that they are disinterested in the game because they have their own alternative motive. I want to be somewhere else, or I want to make more money, or I want to do more stuff. I want to be in bigger club, then your effort is all done. Like I said, hey, I said to we at Tottenham TV, I said, Levy, sell the club to Bezos. Just sell the club to.
Yeah, but I don't think Bezos would do very good. I think he'd be more like the Arsenal owners. I think he'd be, like Stan Kroenke and stuff like that. So I used to live in St. Louis. I grew up in that area, and Stan Kroenke completely ruined, St. Louis, American NFL possibilities with the way he's just a horrible. All he cares about profit, and he'll drain a club and then move to a different city and drain them again. I think you kind of froze up. I can still hear you, but your picture's frozen up a little bit.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yep, I can still hear you.
Oh, okay. So I'm saying sell the club to Bezos. Sell the club to Amazon. Amazon is in there doing documentary every week. Just tell them, hey, we need to sell this club to you guys. You guys should help us with this club. And right now we don't have finances. Help us and let's get these players in to promote more. Because if Amazon end up buying the club, there will be more. We're not going to be worrying about finances anymore. Because how can you have a £1 billion stadium and you don't have nothing to show for it? It's a waste. You are just there. 5 years from now, nobody's going to remember anybody. Nobody's going to remember Harry Kane, But Harry Kane don't want to be remembered that way. It's like pushing, say, get players here and let's win this thing. Just give me 1 Champions League, 1 League Cup, and 1 FA Cup, then I'm good. I can go anywhere else I want. I can retire.
Well, I gotta put you on pause right now. There's something going on. Like there's a big fight right now between Mexico and the U.S. and I don't know what's going on. Anybody watching it can tell me what happened in the chat. I missed it. All I just see is the big ruckus and the yellow cards flying.
One of the Mexican players got in the face of the keeper trying to get the ball out quickly after
the replay
after a grab
on the ground.
Okay. So the game is on between Mexico.
The usual USA-Mexico rivalry game.
Yeah, it's an Olympic qualifying match.
That's right.
And did you guys watch the Wales game today on Belgium?
What a pass by Bale to set up the
Yeah, they said the person the commentator that I watched said if he was gonna judge him based after the comment, right? Based on the comments and stuff, he said he would give him a C-. I'm like, he said he only set up one goal, and that was it. He said it feels like he was just playing like Arsenal game to Tottenham. He tried one thing and gave up the rest of the game.
Yeah, no, but hey, I don't know, David, if you're watching, I don't know if you're on or not. You may just be listening in the background or whatever, or you may not be watching at all. But if you watch this back later, the U.S. men's national team and Ireland's men's national team is supposed to have a friendly, right? This international break. So, David, we got to do like a watch along on that. I think that would be kind of fun, don't you? Like David for the Irish national team and me for the U.S. men's national team. I think that'd be a fun.
Is Pulisic playing today? Pulisic.
It's
No, I don't
U23.
think so. Yeah, it's U23. This is Olympic qualifiers. So
All the youngsters.
Yeah, all the youngsters. I think Pulisic's what, 24 now, right? But so for the actual tournament, when they actually go to the Olympics, they can pick 3 players.
Yeah, they got 3 senior players, I believe.
But
Okay.
so what about Son? Jose, what do you think about Son? Do you think the Son has a possibility of leaving? I know none of us want Son to go.
Yeah, I sure as hell hope not. No, I think he's found a home here. Like I said, I'd love for him to stay. They came 1 game short of winning the Champions League. He's tasted being there that close. I think if Harry stays, he'll stay because he'll know that there's a higher chance now that Kane will be playing to get back there again.
So in the video here that's up on screen now, in this particular video, they said that Manchester United, there were some reports that maybe that they would be going in for Harry Kane, but in all actuality, it was Heung Min Son that they wanted, and they were willing to go up to almost 120 million pounds for Son on that. What do you guys think about that?
No, the only person that I heard that I felt that might be leaving for sure, that is guaranteed to leave, which I think is already discussed, process, everything is just like it was an alt on it, is Dele Alli, and is said to be going to PSG, and I think all that thing went through except Levy put an alt on it.
Now I heard a report today that made me smile, a real big smile. I think it was Chris Collin put it on his channel that one of the Italian sides wanted to. One of the managers from one of the Italian sides wanted to purchase Eric Lamela, and if we don't do that, I'm looking right at the camera right now. If that is true,
they need to
do that.
Yeah,
never forgive. I will be Brian Daigle. You will have to beat me to the punch to go get Daniel Levy for not doing that.
Yeah, he needs to do that.
They were talking about it on the we were talking on TV and.
Shots fired! I'm telling you.
Yeah.
If nobody wants to buy Lamela and you don't sell him, then you're gonna have to come. You're gonna have to deal with me. Do you hear me? I'm looking right at you. I'm looking at you.
So, you guys, what do you think? Do you think? Would you? I don't know. People are making excuses. I know how good he is. Do you think if Dele Alli leaves, it would be like bad for the team or something?
No.
I don't think it would be bad for. I mean, not right now. He's not helping out, right? He's not benefiting us right now. So,
but a lot of people are making excuses for him that they want him to stay. They want him to stay. They want him to stay.
I think he's. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
If he did stay, but I don't think I would be. I wouldn't be upset if we sold him either. I guess you could say I'm apathetic. I'm agnostic to that particular choice, right? So, if we leave. When we get money, like especially if we can get 50, 60 million from him, I think that's a big ask from the way that his form has been lately in the current climate of right now. But if we could get that much for him, I would do it in a heartbeat because then you could go out and buy a player, a center back, or you could buy another center midfielder. I just think that if you sell, I think we have enough dead weight on our team that you can sell those players and then use the money you get from them to bring in replacements for that position, right? We can get rid of Eric Lamela. We can even get rid of Lucas Moura, and we can buy a quality winger, right? If we were to sell, Moura and Lamela, we could probably get 35 million pounds. And then you could go out and you could buy a young quality winger to play on that right-hand side. And then you could go out and you could sell, Dele Alli and bring in another number 10. And then you could go and you could sell Sanchez and Dyer, and you could go in and bring in another A1 center back or 2 center backs. And then you could go sell, Aurier. I don't know if this is the last year of his contract or if he has one more year left or what, if he's going on a free this year or not, I don't know. But, you can get rid of those guys and I'd have to double check. I don't think this is his last year. He might be on next year, might be the last year of his contract. So if we don't sell him this summer, it's just an absolute waste. Even if it's 10 million is better than nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, we sold Christian
to
Eriksen.
me, they need to these players, you have to take a loss. You have to take a loss because there are just too much player just sitting there not doing anything. Who not only not doing anything, they don't want to do anything. They just want to sit there and make money and go. Because how can you come to a team, you're on the field and you're walking around and the ball is going past you? And I'm like, even kids, little kids can do better. That's why Jose, if you look at it very well, Jose said he wants players that are hungry. Why would Jose said, and when you look at the people, he said the people in my reserve on my bench are people that are hungry. These are youths. I mean, for him to say that, you can see that the senior team are giving up like they don't want to do anything. And if you look at Guardiola, Guardiola is not going to stay. Guardiola is not going to stay. You know what he did? He said, oh, I'll stay. I'm bringing all the youths.
Yeah.
He brought all the youths. And if you see the way he plays this game, if you look at it very well, the players were disagreeing with him in the beginning. And if you look at the beginning of the season, Guardiola was losing a lot until he sit them down and say, hey, I'm not chasing anybody out. I just want you guys to focus. And you guys are not focusing. I have to go to people that wants this best. And everybody got their stuff together. And Foden came in as a youth defender. Is their main striker now.
Yeah, no, I mean Foden's a quality player. I mean, it amazes me why Pep doesn't play him more often.
I know. Just like when I saw how Skylar was playing, I was like, damn, why don't you use Skylar? If these people don't want to play, use Skylar. But most of our youths that are very good are already on loan.
So Jose, who do you think that we should bring in this transfer window?
I think Dele should definitely go. He's more of a lost cause than Bale this season so far, and that's saying something. Who you said who should go or who they should bring in?
Yeah, who would you want to see them bring in?
I don't know anybody specifically, but I do think the back line needs a lot of work.
The whole thing.
You know, a quality center back and a definitely a right back, because we're pretty lacking in that department right now.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I agree. So looking at what we've got coming up after this international break, Asamoah, if you're still here with us, what do you think about the Newcastle match, and how do you think that's going to play out?
Speaking of that, I'll answer that, but I want to ask Jose one question and you as well. Do you think, based on the question you just previously asked, do you think if Bale goes back to Real Madrid, do you think Reguilon will stay?
He's been playing pretty well. I'm a big fan of him. I think he'll.
You know the reason why I'm saying that? Because they are friends and they came together in the same plane, in the same car, in the same everything. And
right.
One is going back. Do you think the other one is going to follow?
I would think so. I would think so. I would think he would.
I'm just nervous about that. That's the part I'm nervous.
Yeah, that'd be a big blow. I think he's.
I'm
been
nervous
so involved this season, aside from injury, but
yeah. I'm nervous about that. That's why I'm nervous a lot about that, because if they do put in the buyback clause, I don't know, because I don't know if I want to play Davies there. I really don't know.
You're muted, Mike.
I think the owners, though, at Real Madrid, put that in there. But I don't necessarily think that it's something that I think the only reason why they sold him to Tottenham in the first place is because Zidane doesn't rate Sergio Reguilon for whatever reason. I don't know why. I think it's an absolutely crazy prospect to have, but I don't think that he'll play, and that's why I think they gave it a 2-year option. So I don't think that he'll go back this summer. I think that if next year Real Madrid has a bad year and they end up sacking Zinedine Zidane, then they'll possibly bring him back in, because I don't think Zinedine Zidane is going to. I don't think he's Zinedine Zidane's type of player. Otherwise, he'd be playing him now. I mean, why not? Why not play him? Arguably, Mendy is a good left back as well, but he has different qualities, right? He's not
Right, right.
Yeah.
No, I totally agree. Yeah, if he's not going to play under Zidane, and he should stay, why would he go? Even if Gareth goes, why would he go and not play when he's getting plenty of playing time here?
Right. I mean, and I think that's why he came here as to play. I mean, he went to Seville, right, and
Right,
played
right.
there on loan. Zinedine Zidane hasn't played him in multiple seasons, and I don't think he'll play him again when he goes back. So there's no reason, even if the owner wants to come in and buy him, Reguilon has to agree to that. And so I think he would have to get like kind of like an assurance that he's going to start in order for him to come back and say that that's what he's going to do. Right. I don't think he's just going to go for no reason. I don't think that. I think he's enjoyed, because he's come in and he's first choice on the sheet every single week in, week out, right? So I mean, yeah.
So back to the Aston Villa. To me, I know we're gonna win them. They are really bad. They are out of.
You mean Newcastle?
Yeah, Newcastle. I'm sorry. They are really. Their form is bad now, so I'm not. I'll play Skylar. I'll play Vinicius, maybe. I'll play Skylar.
Scarlet.
Yeah, Skylar. Yeah, I'll play Skylar.
What did you guys think of the 4-4-2 that they came out in with Vinny and Kane on top?
Isn't that what we used to win Manchester City in the beginning?
No, I'm pretty sure they went to the default 4-2-3-1 that match. That's Jose. That's Jose's.
4-3-3 that match, wasn't it?
There was a game that we used that
we have used a 4-4-2 this season.
Was it Liverpool that we almost won? And
it might have been that first match, Liverpool, but it was with different players. I think it was
the guy missed.
Oh yeah, it was Liverpool. It was Liverpool.
And I think it was Lucas and Kane up top, wasn't it? I might be wrong. Or Son and Kane up top.
But Kane missed one goal, and this team missed one goal.
Kane missed a couple.
Yeah.
That was a game that Lo Celso was on the right wing, and he got taken over by that side of Liverpool.
Yeah, and this thing too was it? I don't think Lo Celso is good on the wings.
Now this may be a hot take, but I haven't been superly impressed with Lo Celso either. Like I think that Lo Celso has. I think he might be. I mean, obviously, I'm not. Don't get all the people watching this now and after the fact. Don't get super offended by this analogy, because it's not expressly analogous. But I think that Lo Celso is a little bit more like a Lamela player. I think his end product is not really that great. I mean, his goal contributions this season or even last season haven't been spectacular. You know what I mean?
I agree with you in some ways, but it's a little different. You know, under Jose, some of these players have grew in a particular talent. Okay, they've had a little bit of their, like you have something inside of you, it doesn't come out. When this coach comes to you, it comes out. To me, I think Lo Celso has half of like Lamela and half of Ali in him.
Yeah,
that's what I see in
that's scary.
That's what I see.
If the form goes, that could be dangerous.
Yeah, that's what I say. But
Lamela, half Deli. That's
that's what I see in him. That is why if you look at the way he tackles the ball just like Lamela does. But he doesn't punch people in the face when they're trying to get the ball. But he plays rough like that, because that's one of the reasons why I feel like it's gonna be very, very hard for England to win the World Cup or win something. You know why? Because the rules in England is different from the rules in Colombia or Brazil. When they play rough like that. When there's like a game like Chile and Colombia, or Colombia and Brazil, or Brazil and Argentina, they play rough. They don't play with the the England
Softness.
rules, with the Premier League rules. They play with rough. Like, I break your leg, you get up, you keep moving. It's like that. It's so rough. So that's how they are built to play. So maybe a little bit of Lamela Lamela does all that kind of stuff when it's frustrated.
So what are your thoughts on Bergwijn, though? What do you think we ought to do with Bergwijn? Jose, why don't you take this one first, and then Osama can come on and take it away after you.
So he has struggled this season, as we know, with the finishing. We could have beat Liverpool with by a couple goals, but I think he's a rising talent. I think you should give him some time to just develop that form. He has the speed. He backtracks for defense. He's all over the place. So I like him, and I think he should be given more time to develop.
And Osama, what do you think about Bergwijn?
Like the game with, let me use an example. The game with Liverpool, Kane lost a lot. Bergwijn lost 2 major ones that we could have won. We could have scored that game. Like, they should have been like 5-1, or 5-2.
Yeah.
But I don't think he's a bad player, but I think he's a player that is like anxious because of people are mad at him because he's a Jose player. You know how all the rest of the team are kind of like picking on him because he's a Jose player. So he's anxious when he's on the ball. Like, I don't want to make a mistake. I don't want to make. And the process of him thinking about the game, it makes a lot of mistake in the process. You can see that he's thinking about what he's trying to do, but instead of him doing it, he's thinking about it, and that kind of like pull his effort, his thinking down. That's what I see, because you can see that he's trying to do something. You know that he's trying to achieve something, but he thinks about it too much. Like, there was a game during the European game that he's trying to score, but he was thinking about it too much. By the time he kicks it, the ball just went to the keeper's hand. And I'm like, don't think about it. Like, you remember that goal he scored with Manchester City?
Mm-hmm.
He didn't think about that goal. He just lashed it in the corner. Even the goalkeeper was like, "Whoa, who is this kid? We can never let this happen again."
Yeah.
But that's what happened. Because it needs a goal. It needs a goal to bring back that mentality. Right now, it's losing confidence. It has low confidence. That's what I said.
And so Suarez Patrick has a question here. He says, do you guys think that Tanganga is fit for right back? And what do you think about playing Bergwijn as a right back?
I think he's good.
To me, right back. To be honest with you,
he did well against Aston Villa.
I think Tanganga's fine as a right back.
I think, the thing about it is,
he's more solid than the two we have. So
Jose is playing a game of chess. You know what a game of chess is? It's playing it with Levy. Tanganga is a center back, but he cannot call him a center back, because if you call him a center back, Levy is gonna say, you don't need a center back anymore. You already got center back. But Tanganga is like a developing center back. He needs somebody that knows what to do to direct him when it's important. He's good, but he needs somebody to say, stay there, don't move. It needs a leader. Like in the midfield, you see how Alberg is a leader, but they shut him down. In the beginning, you see how he was directing the players, clapping for them. Then when Dumbele is trying to move, he'll pull the leg like that. No, don't move. Even though, just pass the ball. Don't take the ball with you. Just pass the ball. Leave them, let them handle in the front. You need a leader like that. But when you don't have a leader like that, it's just not. Adovero, Toby, who is a leader, but for some reason, there's a little bit of friction between him and Jose.
Yeah, so I think that to get my perspective on it, I think that Tanganga, I think he's a real virtuous player. I think that playing him on the right back for now. I mean,
Mhm.
his attacking prowess is no worse off. Maybe not as good as Aurier as far
Yeah.
as putting balls in the box,
Put
but
the box. That's what I'm saying. Put the
but
box in the box.
no worse than Doherty on the attack, right? In the
No,
attacking
no.
aspect. And I think that his defensive, his speed, and the amount of
It's good. It's
yeah,
good.
I think
It's good.
he's got better physicality than
Woo!
Doherty does, and
It's
I think
good,
that
man. It's
he
good
plays a lot
in
better there.
defense.
Yeah. And so I think it's a sound option right now. I don't think that we have
Yeah.
anybody necessarily who can put in a better shift than he can do right now.
I
But
you know what I feel is best if if that's the case, you can play um you can play Gio in front of him then, if that's the case. Because Gio will always lose the ball if in that on the right. You shouldn't play. I think Gio is better in the middle,
yeah,
but Lucas is already playing there right now. So if you want to play Lucas and him together, because you need Lucas to be aggressive on the ball. So if you have
honestly, I
Gio,
think why do they always want to put Lamella in center midfield? I think Lamella's a horrible center midfielder. If he wants to play right wing, I think he's far less dangerous on the right wing. Right, he's got that energy. He can get back and help out. Right, you could even play Doherty behind him, and he's going to get back on defense and try to help out. But I just don't see. I just do not see why Eric Lamella keeps getting played as an attacking midfielder. That's not what he's good at. That is not.
yeah, it's better in the wings. He's in the wing, right wing. It's better the
Or
right
play
wing.
him as a number 8. Put him in Sissoko's spot and let him just chop people's ankles off. I mean, I just don't. That's he has no attacking return since the last time that he had a good season was the 15-16 season, and he played out on the right wing. I mean, that was his best season statistically.
Okay, if he plays there, can Dumbele play at number 10?
Well, more is
Uh,
there.
if you're playing him if you're playing Eric Lamel as a number 8, he could play Ndombele in at 10, right, and play Moore out on the right. Although Moore is not necessarily as good as he is. He's not near as effective uh as a number 11 as he is as a number 10, at least right now, anyway. I mean, who knows with the form he's on? Maybe it's just a form thing. Maybe it's not a positional thing. I think it's more of a positional thing. So, like, I think Lucas Moore tends to remind me a little bit like I'm not comparing that, saying that my son is right now as good as Lucas Moura, but Lucas Lamella. It's about the same thing. Lucas Moura. But the way that they play is very similar. So my son plays sometimes on the wing, but he's primarily the number 10. When he only has one side to go to, it seems like it cuts off half of his game because he's so good. Like my son is so good with going to the right and going to the left. Like he's at 13, he's probably the most double-footed player on his team. And so when he has to go out and play left wing, it really kind of takes away. He really likes to, even though he's right-footed, he really likes to drive left, which is kind of the opposite of most right-footed people like to cut to the right. But he likes to cut into the left, and that really takes away the other half of his game. I don't know why the coach never plays him on the right wing, but that would almost be a better spot for him. But I think Moore is kind of the same way. When you take away what he's good at, which is going back and forth, dribbling and stuff like that, you're taking away half his game if you're putting him on one side of the field or the other.
And usually that too, you were right. I think Lamella goes across the field to the other side, and it goes across all over across. So if he's playing already in the center, it can go around. Because that's one thing I like about what Guardiola has achieved. He did that in Barcelona too. Maybe people didn't notice that he likes. If I ever be a coach, that's how I want to play. He likes his players to interchange and roll in circle at the same time. He plays like a diamond style, but the diamond style that he plays them while they are doing a rotation diamond at the same time. While they are playing, they are moving, they are rolling, they are moving, they are rolling. That's why it's so hard for nobody to track anybody down, because they keep moving direction. So imagine a midfielder playing left is switching to the right. of the wing. The one in the back is switching to the front. You don't know who to track. You're running all over everywhere. Like, who should I track? But Jose was able to defeat him in Barcelona with Real Madrid and say, hey, follow the same person you got. Don't worry if they are running all over everywhere. Just keep following that same person. Even if they are going left, you go left with them. Even if they are going right, go right with them. Don't worry about them running everywhere. And that is the same style he's playing now with the youth. That's what he's doing, because he looked at it, is losing game left and right. So, you know what? I'm just going to go back to my drawing board and start this system. And the first time it was a draw, and every other time started going scores, goals. And at the same time, he couldn't even figure out his own defense until they buy the same guy we were after, the same defender we were after. That's why sometimes I get angry when I say, Levy, somebody's selling you something $5. You won't buy him until it becomes like $200. Then you'll be like, oh, we should have bought him. You know?
Yeah.
Ruben Diaz, right? Ruben Diaz was the player we were after as a option from the guy from Inter Milan. That was the second option. Like, if you don't buy the guy from Inter, that was what Joey said. Buy the guy from the Inter Milan, the defense from Inter Milan. If he doesn't want, buy Ruben Diaz. And he went. By the time they were taking too much time, Manchester City took Ruben Diaz because they were wasting too much time. Because he wanted to come to Tottenham.
Yeah, let me show you guys something here. As we go kind of back to my point about Eric Lamella's movement and why everybody always gives me a lot of heat. Anybody who knows who's seen me on any of the other channels gives me a lot of heat about why I don't like Eric Lamella, and everybody likes to talk about his work rate. I want to show you two different things here. People who have followed me on Twitter may have already seen this. But look at this heat map here, right? There's a heat map there, and there's a heat map there. Let me get that comment out of the way for now so people can see. All right, so this one is the bottom is the, they're opposite each other. One is attacking to the bottom. This one's attacking to the bottom goal. And this one is attacking to the goal at the top of the screen. So which one do you think is the 13-year-old player? Just by looking at these two heat maps, which one do you think is 13?
The one that's more filled up.
Yeah. So this is a heat map of my son's second half performance as an attacking midfielder. And he ran 4.2 kilometers that half. This is Eric Lamella's heat map for the 18-19 season. And you see how the orange and yellow section there, he basically just runs and he's attacking the goal towards the top of the screen.
So he just runs across.
Yeah, left to right. And people like to talk about his work rate. Yeah, he runs hard from here to there and here to there.
Side to side.
side to side. But look at the attacking box. There's nothing in there. It's blue. I mean, there's a little bit, that light blue color off of the, kind of the sky green is, sky. It's hardly into the box at all. A little bit up the right side, a little bit up the, the reason why he has a little bit more, there's a lighter green up on the right is because he's majorly left-footed. But he doesn't really work that hard. And if you go, people like to give me a hard time, but if you go to the EPO and you look at stats and you hit compare player, and you look at the amount of Eric Lamella's average distance ran per 90 minutes, it's 1.9 kilometers per game. So that means that my 13-year-old son ran almost 2 times as much in one half as Eric Lamella averages per 90 minutes. And to me, that's absolutely unacceptable. And then but this is just for the last 4 years. And when you compare that with, what with the other people on the team. Son, he averages like 4.3. Harry Kane averages like 3.9. I mean, and Hugo Lloris averages 1.7. So Eric Lamela is closer to running as much as Hugo Lloris does, on average, and
That's
that
pretty
doesn't.
insane.
And that's on appearance. That's based on
Yeah.
appearances. So it's not about, he's hurt all the time, so blah blah blah. No, that's based on appearances, right? So yeah, that does take into account the times when he's subbed on instead of starting, but it's still the average of the game. My son runs an average of 4 kilometers a half, and Eric Lamela runs an average of 1.9 per appearance.
The return just isn't there.
So do you guys think maybe that is how Poch was using him as a midfielder back in the days, not as an attacker? Because the time you're talking about is still Poch. Because based on what you're saying, it sounds like Poch uses him as a midfielder. Because I think the reason why Jose started using him as an attack is because he saw some people who are disinterested.
Well, no, I mean, when he played a lot of times under Poch too, he played as an attacking midfielder, right? That's what a lot of his time come off the bench. Actually, a lot of the times, there was a lot of times when Eric Lamela would start on the left over Heung Min Son, and it really made me mad. It really irritated me, especially in the 18-19 season. There were several times when Poch didn't start Son. Like in 18-19, Son wasn't a week in, week out undroppable player.
Because
he sat on the bench a lot.
He was playing. They used him as a striker multiple times, like a first 9.
Yeah, they rotated him. They rotated Son a lot with Lamela. There was a lot of rotation between Son and Lamela while Lamela was fit.
But
and
right
really
now he's playing
me.
as a winger, right? He plays as a right winger.
No, he plays as an attacking midfielder now.
Really? I thought he plays behind Bale. When Bale comes out, he relieves Bale. And
sometimes he does, but usually what happens then is that Mora will swing out to the right, and Lamela will come into the 10 spot. Because I mean, like that Rabona, it was on the left-hand side of the box. If he was playing right wing, what's he doing all the way over there?
He runs across anyway. I've seen him several times go
As
across.
you've proven.
Right?
Yeah. Just side to side, side to side.
Right?
And that's what I'm saying.
He's dribbling too. He doesn't dribble straight. He dribbles in an angular way. It goes from one angle to another angle.
And that's what I'm saying. Statistics, if you want to go off pure numbers, they don't tell the full story. But a heat map does. And I don't care what a person says. When you look at a player's heat map, you can see where they're spending the majority of their time, right? They're off the ball movement. I mean, this is an attacking midfielder getting into the box, right? He's getting into the box when he has to attack. He's dropping back to help out in the defense, right? He's pulling to the sideline when the ball's on the wings. He goes out to, and you can see here that you can obviously see that my son prefers to go to the left, right? This left angle here is far, extends closer to the touchline than the right, but he's a right-footed player, which is really weird. But that's just he likes to go to the left. You can see the way he makes his runs, that that light green spot in the middle of the orange. He angles his runs. You can see that the runs into the box aren't straight lines; they're angled. And heat maps don't lie; they just don't. Stats can be deceiving. Heat maps aren't, and it's really. I don't think people understand the depths at which I go into my my views on stuff like that. But anyway, let's go to Swav's question here. Enough of me ranting on about Lamela. I could do that all night. But what do you guys think about our position on going for a title race next season? Do you guys think addressing center back and right back to summer will put us in that position? I'll go first. My personal opinion is that I think we only need 3 players. I think we need one really high quality center back. We need a attacking mid, and we need a right winger. And if we got 3 of those 3 quality players in that position, we're able to hold on to Kane and Son and even Aurier or Doherty, right? One of those 2 to play backup, an injury, backup for Tanganga. I think that I think that we could definitely go on a title run
Wait,
next season.
I want to say something. One thing that I do observe, and I think that's why Aurier is still kind of upset and angry in the club while he's so frustrated, is because Aurier wants to play right wing. That's what I assume is really making him angry and upset at the club. He doesn't want to play, he doesn't want to play right back. He wants to be right. He wants to play right wing. But my question is, do you think Ori can play right wing?
There's a couple times when he's done that when he's filled up. I would rather see him play right wing than right back.
Because I think that's why he's frustrated in the club. He wants to stay at the club, but I think he wants to play right wing because his attitude is always, why do I have to come and defend? I want to play forward. He doesn't mind defending, but he wants to play right wing.
I've said that before, and people kind of blew me off and laughed at me. I think Aurier is better.
That's one of my observation with him. Why I think he doesn't cooperate too much with the whole system, because I feel like I'm putting too much effort, and especially the way he commits foul at the right back. It plays as if he's in the middle of the field. He's committing the foul in the middle of the field. That thing that you committed is close to the goalkeeper. They're gonna score. They're gonna score. That's one thing. I feel like maybe if Bale's situation doesn't work out, maybe it should play there.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think Bell's going to stay past. I don't think we want to play his wages next season, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm just going through all these comments. Some of them are pretty funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I mention something? Me,
Sure.
naturally, when I play FIFA, this is the particular thing that I think will work the best, and I think that's my own personal formation. And I think Jose is gonna end up using that. I would say that they should play.
Oh, we lost Jose.
Oh, I would
Keep
say
going
they
though.
should play. I would say they should play 3-4-3. That's my best formation. That I think they should play, because right now that's what Tuchel is playing in Chelsea now. That's what he's doing.
Yeah, 3-4-3 is good for like FIFA or like fantasy football or something like that. I don't know if I'm necessarily a fan of it. For me, if I'm playing Football Manager, my favorite position or my favorite formation is a 4-1-3-2. I really like that position. And if you have a really, really strong, really solid defensive midfielder who can kind of drop in between the lines, so it's basically like a 5-5-3-2, but more he kind of pulls up into the midfield better. But yeah, it's tough in a game. The formation really depends on your opponent and the balance in the squad that you have. So
because the way the 3-4-3 works is you could turn it to 5-5-5-2-3 easily.
Yeah,
and
I just like formations with two up top. Personally, I really do. Like a 4-4-2 diamond or 4-4-2 attack.
Yeah.
I really like positions with two people on top. I think it really spreads defenses, and when you can attack with 5 or 6 in the attack and then come back and settle in defense, I think that it's an easy thing. But yeah.
I mean, because I read one of the things. Yes, we do definitely need a goalkeeper. We need a goalkeeper for sure. Because it's getting old anyway. He's talking about Loris. If Loris is gonna be our goalkeeper next season,
Yeah, I think that a goalkeeper is definitely somebody that we need, coming forward and stuff like that. I'm gonna kick him out.
So the game to me, I'll play the youth for the Newcastle one. I'll play the youth. The thing, before I say that, let me. Oh, wow, that would be great.
I'm not a fan of Conte. I'm not a fan of Conte. So
Conte is.
I'm all right.
Kante is a masterpiece of 3-4-3.
But if you guys think that Jose Mourinho is a narcissist, wait till you have to deal with Antonio Conte. I'm telling you that right now.
Yeah. You know Antonio Kante oh my God, Kante, and he will sue you to court.
No,
quickly.
sorry.
He will sue you to court.
Sorry, he's gonna have a heart attack on the sideline.
No. I don't think Sarri is good. I think Antonio Kante will be good because
he's gonna have an
the
iron
problem
lung.
is if you anybody that wants to play 3-4-3, you gotta have players that are like Leipzig players. You have to be constantly moving. You cannot be playing like, oh, I'm waiting for the ball. You have to keep moving the ball, and that is one thing I like about the Belgium coach. He follows the same realm. That's why I told you I like the 3-4-3. You can never go wrong with the 3-4-3. Took Belgium to finals 3 times now. 3 times to finals 3 times.
Jose's back.
Hey guys, can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, now we can hear you. So, like I said, like today, if you look at it, is it that you play 3-4-1-2 or 3-4-2-1? And that's the same thing the Liverpool coach play, but he plays it different. Plays it 4-3-1-2. That's the thing he plays 4-3-1-2. But people think he plays 4-4-3-3, but he doesn't play 4-3. He plays 4-3-1-2. Because if you look at
Firmino drops deeper. Yeah.
Firmino drops deeper. That's the idea. And
you have inverted wingers, right? They're not.
There you go. That
winger.
comes in and score. Yeah, that comes in and score the game because that's how it works. Yeah. But if you look at it the other way around, if you switch that 4 to the middle and bring the middle, the midfield, make the midfield 4 and make the defense 3. Then it becomes the same thing Belgium is doing 3-4-1-2, and that's the same way that's the same way Lakoko is playing right now. That's the same way he plays in Inter Milan. The guy even makes it better. He changes to 3-5-2, to make it more supporting that he doesn't rely on his defense. He relies on his midfielder to defend. The midfielders are the defenders, not the defenders. That's why it's 5-5 there.
And so we're about halfway through the stream. So hold your thought right there because I got to make a public service announcement.
Sure.
The amount of views that our 3-hour streams get is absolutely amazing. It's like 300 or 400 plus right now on all platforms. And then at least, almost 300 and sometimes above 300 on YouTube. We're only at like 125 subscribers right now, which is amazing after 1 week. But that means half of you haven't subscribed. So just subscribe if you like it, because we'll be going all the time. And thanks to everybody who shared it and helped this channel grow. It's been absolutely amazing, and I agree with it. But yeah, awesome. Everybody tends to see that Alejandro Perez here says that you're right, that that Conte is the king of the 3-4-3.
Yep.
And that he's also a winner though, and he's kind of outfoxed Poch before and other things. But I agree with 92 Flamethrower, right? That Conte's got a good brain, but his personality is lacking.
Yeah, exactly. His personality is lacking when the players doesn't. What was the defender that was supposed to come to us that refused? What was the that didn't refuse, but Kante said, "I don't want him." What was that defender?
I'm drawing a blank right now. Starts with an S.
But regardless,
Skriniar.
Okay.
Yeah.
Skriniar wasn't agreeing with Kante's proposal. But do you know what Kante did instead? He moved them from the right side to the left side. That's all he did. The argument was first of all saying, "I don't want him. I want a new one. Bring me a new one." But later he said, "You know what? Wait a minute. If I move this guy to this side, would it work?" And he moved him to this side, and now the guy is their best guy. He's stopping balls left and right. And Jose said, Levy, this is what I told you. I wanted you could have get this guy for me. You could have bought this guy for me.
Yeah.
You know? And if you look at what Jose did too, because I think, even people might not believe it, I think Conte follows Jose's masterpiece 3-4-3. Because Jose used to use that formula back in the days, and people just
Yeah.
ignored this. Like, but the only way you can play that kind of game is if you have a striker that wants to run, if you have wingers that wants to run. If you look at the way Liverpool plays now, even though they have a lot of disagreement, which it comes to the same thing, is that you cannot be running forward when you don't trust your behind.
Yeah.
That's why they're having disagreement, because Wijnaldum wants to leave because it feels like they're not playing him enough. So they have their own thing. But if you look at the way when they counteract games, they are all pushing forward, especially the wing backs are gone into the exercise to score. And that's how it all works. That's why I feel like what's his name? Doherty is not working right now, but it will work when it comes to that formation better. But you cannot
Yeah.
use that formation when you don't have defense.
Yeah. I
The
mean,
defense is bad.
we've tried to play 3 at the back several times this season, but it just,
But that's the thing. How can you play 3-4-3 when you don't have defense? You can only play when you have a solid defense.
yeah.
I can personally, I don't know about you, I don't trust Dyer in the center of the field. I cannot put Dyer there in the center of the field.
Well, I mean, you could play Davies as the Davies' biggest problem is not that he's a bad defender; it's the fact that he can't run, and he tends to allow people to go inside instead of pushing him outside, and then he has to turn around a full 360 degrees. He has no real positional awareness. You know what I mean? So it's really tough, but
Yeah.
we've played there. Yeah, like
do you know the same way you're talking right now? Since the main guy for Liverpool got injured, do you know how many times the guy have changed the defense? 25 times. 25 times. Liverpool is 8 now.
yeah.
That's what happens when there's no defense. Because how can you be charging forward when there's nobody defending your house? Where are you charging to?
Well, I mean, that really has to do too with the fact that because I think Liverpool's biggest problem right now is that they've had to pull so many people back to fill the holes in the back line that they've really thinned out their midfield, and they've had to play a lot of players that they wouldn't normally play.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't have a strong defensive midfield presence, it adds a lot more issues to your back line, and it keeps you from being able to play a high press effectively, right? So if your midfielders continue to get to not pick up men, not caught off passing lanes, and then therefore you make the back line vulnerable to balls into the half spaces and in between the lines, and you don't have somebody there to really be able to defend that properly, you tend to start getting a back four that kind of looks like an Etch-a-Sketch. Well, you'll have, one fullback up high, one center back, 3 or 4 yards in front of the other one with another fullback 2 or 3 yards behind the center backs. It's just because you don't have that. If you don't have a strong midfield to kind of channel attackers into the zones that you want them to be in order for the center backs to pick them up and put pressure on them and to clear balls away, it really makes it difficult for you to play, I think. And I think that's Liverpool's biggest issue right now.
I'm gonna ask you something real quick.
Sure.
If we were to, I saw in the chat just now that somebody said we've played 3-4-3. If we were to play 3-4-3 and put Aurier as the wing back, midfielder to go forward instead of Doherty, that people will expect me to say Doherty, it will be like more like Aurier.
Mm-hmm.
And if we can have somebody like James Reese, as defend, what do you think?
Yeah, I think Aurier could do all right there, but I don't know. I'd have to see it. I'd have to see that formation play out to really feel like it's a viable option. You know what I mean? I don't have enough experience watching the team play that way to see if those players would be effective in that or not. But I just want to welcome Andre into the chat here. How you doing, my man?
Hi, I'm 92 Flamethrower, so yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, 92 Flamethrower. Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome, man. Awesome. Well, thanks for joining us. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, I've been trying to join, but I've been busy, so
Yeah.
finally got on.
That works. You found a quiet place to join us on stream. Finally, that's
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
So tell me, what are your thoughts? You tell us a little bit about yourself first, since this is the first time I've seen you on some stuff.
Okay,
And I
sure.
see you in the chat everywhere, absolutely everywhere, right? Matt
Yeah.
Hayes, Irish Hotspur, We Are Tottenham TV, all over the place. But I think this is the first time that you've come on a show. But that's awesome. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, so I'm from Southern California.
Okay.
I got into Spurs about like 5 years ago, I want to say. Like
All
when
right.
that Poch era began.
Mhm.
And I just loved watching that style. And then Harry Kane started popping up and Dele Alli, and so just seeing how like there were young players that were like really like competing at a high level. I think that's what got me in, and since then, like I'm loyal.
Yeah, it's been a little bit. I think 2014 was the first season that I became, I guess you could say, a hyper fan. And I'd watched casually a couple of years before that, but so it's been about right around that same time. It was Son's first season that really, got me watching week in and week out. But since I know you've been in the chat a little bit on stuff, but tell us what you think about the Gareth Bale situation. So that's kind of the topic of the stream tonight. Not that there's ever a specific topic, but I mean, what did you make of those comments and the you could say the heat out in the social media Twitter sphere that erupted out of that?
To me, it's nothing. To be honest, like he's saying what he's supposed to be saying. He doesn't like that second year. It's not on him, so you can't like be saying, "Oh, yeah, you have to like sign me again, and I'll be back next season." Because like if Mourinho or Levy decides against it, then he's gonna be back at Real Madrid.
Now, Bob Spur TV did make one good comment. He could have said nothing, right? He could have said, "I have no comment," right? That would have been the older, mature thing to say, right? But if you're trying to give as much information to a reporter as possible, you can't say, "Well, yeah, I hope to play my second season at Tottenham," and then if we don't give him that option, he's made out to look like the fool, right? He's in the crossfire for saying we don't give him that second year. Now he's caught out saying, looking like he wasn't good enough, and it's his fault that he didn't get that second year.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
like
I can understand why he has to repeat his original deal. You know what I mean?
yeah, if you look at the question before that, it's like, why? No, would you like the whole situation to be solved before the Euros, or is that a distraction?
Yeah.
So like he's forced to talk about it.
No, I agree 100%. I agree 100%. And what do you think about Harry Kane? Do you think that the rumors that people are saying he's going to leave, and then his camp kind of came out and said that I think Kane's a little wiser on the street than Gareth Bale maybe, and had to get out in front of that, even if the other one was true. You know what I mean? So, what are your thoughts? Do you think he's going to stay, or do you think he's going to go?
Yeah, he's made it clear like he's gonna stay as long as we show ambition. And if we sack Mourinho, then I think he's gone.
But if we don't sign anyone, is that a lack of ambition in his eyes?
I don't know because like it's COVID, and so we're in a tough situation.
Yeah, but I think that could pass through the winter transfer window, but I don't think that'll pass for the summer. You know what I mean? You gotta, as a business owner myself, during this COVID time, you've had to make sacrifices and you've had to take chances in order to continue to grow your business, even if the funds or the security isn't there, right? And I don't think that Daniel Levy, regardless of what he fiscally probably should do, could get away with not improving the squad, especially if we don't get into the Champions League this year. I want to get into Champions League spot, even if that means that Levy has an excuse now to not purchase more players in the summertime, simply because I want Tottenham to be as successful as possible. I mean, there have been people I think on this channel, if I remember, who said that, they wouldn't, if it meant getting rid of, Daniel Levy and doing all kinds of stuff, that they'd be okay with being in the bottom half of the table for a season. I don't know if I'm in that boat. I don't know if I necessarily have that mentality, but what are your thoughts on that?
I want to compete really. So for me, Levy showed ambition last summer because we were it was COVID, and I think at the beginning we were only going to sign 2 or 3 players. I think that was the rumor going on around.
Then we ended up signing
after
6.
Yeah, after that Everton game, we signed 4 or 5, I think. So
yeah,
I think he spent more than he would have liked. That's what I think. And then
but with the holes that we have now, you got to do it again, either by selling and then buying, or just digging into those pockets a little deeper and because Asamoah had mentioned earlier that Gareth Bale's wages could pay for the wages of 1 or 2 really good players, right? So
yeah, but I think Levy sees the side of the marketing side, and that he would have liked to have fans in the stadium before, this season, and so I think he saw Bell and was like, yeah, I'll get him, so that we can get more fans, more shirt sales, and everything.
Yeah,
and I think
you can
he's
do
gonna
that
do it
too.
again.
I mean, think about it. If you were to go out and get, which I don't know what his contract situation is like, I haven't looked at it, but if you were to go out and get a player like Gio Reyna, right? Even if he's not proven, you don't think that that's going to up interest from American neutrals who maybe don't have a place? Or if you were to go grab another, I mean, heck, you could go get, not that I think he's good enough to play, but I mean, you could go get Zares from, and just have him sit on the bench. You know what I mean? You're going to get, if you put Zares on the bench, you're going to get shirt sales from America. You're going to have ESPN talking about it. You know what I mean? You're going to have, and you could probably get him for 100, not 500,000-600,000. You know what I'm saying? You wouldn't have to pay a whole lot of money. So
why are we going backwards now?
I'm just saying, if you want to go marketing wise, there's a lot of players out there that could sell. I mean, because how many casual fans are in the U.S. that maybe don't have a specific team you support? I mean, there's a lot of people that support one team passionately over another, but there's far more people who are kind of wishy-washy, just like, football in general, and don't have a real, horse in the race. And I mean, that whole Columbus Crew base would be buying would be buying shirts, right? If he went there. So
I mean, Ronaldo wants to leave Juventus. You can bring
yeah,
Ronaldo.
bring in
here.
Ronaldo in, yeah.
Bring
I don't think we
Ronaldo.
could. I don't think we could
Wouldn't that
afford
be a
Ronaldo's
move?
wages.
Yeah,
I don't think we.
or,
I don't think we can afford his wages, but
or get him on loan, just like Bale. Just get him on loan.
or we could get him
Yeah.
to. Well, I think he's at the end of his contract this year with Juventus. I think he'll be able to go on a free, is what I think. But I mean, it's the wages that's the issue, and I think that you get Daniel Levy. I mean, he's rich enough as it is now with all of his shoe deals and all that other stuff. So, why not just get him Daniel Levy to pay all of his wages to a charity for a year or something like that? You know what I mean? And like good PR. He's had some negative PR lately in the press, so over the last couple of years. So maybe that would be a good thing PR wise to, donate his annual wage to some charity and have it be like, $100K a week.
But you know why I think he's going to sign Bell again? It's because the marketing side of it, and because he helps the homegrown quota. I think that's something that people don't realize, that like Bell counts as homegrown.
Does he?
Yeah, because of the data at South.
Because the youth club. Oh yeah.
So he
came
counts
up
as
through
homegrown.
the Southampton Academy. Yeah.
Who?
Gareth Bale.
Bell.
Oh, is considered as homegrown.
Yeah, I think so. If he came out of an English academy, he's considered homegrown. So if he finished his youth days in an English academy, so that's like why Eric Dyer is not considered homegrown, is because he came out of a Portuguese youth academy. So it's where you were at 18 that counts for being homegrown or not. So like you could be a Brazilian and come out of a English youth academy by the age of 18 and be considered homegrown.
Now I see why Jose. I see why Jose like Dyer now.
I don't know anymore.
He comes out of Portugal.
Yeah,
because
Portuguese.
He comes out of Portugal. And that's number two. I think the reason, Dyer is a DM. Okay? The reason why Jose, because that was the same thing he did in Chelsea. The reason why Jose decided to use him, accept him permanently as a defender, is because of his height. That was the main thing. Because usually, when the ball is coming from a corner kick, you need somebody to head it off. And if you're so short, that's why he's a little bit worried about Rodon, because Rodon is not that tight, or Taganga, and Rodon is because they are not as tall as he is. So his ideology was like, I'll train you to be a good defender because of your height. But I have a feeling that Jose is giving the instruction, but Dyer is doing, I know better and I'm going to do whatever I want to do.
Yeah. Because
you can see that in the documentary saying that you guys have to be hungry for this. You guys have to fight. Don't be... And if you look at someone on the documentary, they went out on a game, they were acting like slow. Then when they came in during the halftime, it says, go at it, go at it. And they went out and they were different. Like, I'm like, that was the same thing he told you in the beginning. Then you have to come in for thing and said, and if you look at it very well, in the documentary, in the old documentary, the main force that leads the whole thing was Harry Kane the whole time, each time. That's why I have the feeling that Harry Kane is giving everything for this club, while other people are just chilling for the club. I don't know how you go on the field and go and chill. I mean, go there, do the job, and go. I know there might be envy, like, oh, why does Harry Kane have to be like, it's normal. It's human nature to get jealous and get envy. Like, why do we always have to pass the ball to only you, and you score all the goals, and you get a golden boot every year, and we don't get anything? But the problem is, if you are a good defender, it would show, and people won't negotiate you. Like if you're a good defender, somebody will offer 100 million to want to buy you from Tottenham
That's
because
an
that's
expensive defender, but yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah. The
yeah, like
point
if
of
you
it, yeah.
work hard, your work rate will show that instead of Tottenham running, like okay, for example, let me use a good example. When Skip started at Tottenham, the first thing Joseph said is, "You're gonna be the future of captain."
Yeah.
I mean, we were all wondering, but we can see the ability. But he went to Norwich, and we can see what Jose is saying now. But people keep saying Jose is bad, this person is bad, and you come and look at the whole play. Like this guy will say, "Okay, oh, you're on top of the league. You're on top of the league." I said, "No, no, no, no. We are not on top of the league. We are taking the game one game at a time."
Yeah.
That's what he said. He didn't say, "Oh, we're gonna win all the games." He said, "We're gonna lose some and we're gonna win some. We are taking the game one game at a time." Right?
Yep. No, I agree.
That's what he said. And everybody was blaming him the time. And he said, "Okay, let's play counteracting. We'll play defense." I think at some point when he saw that the defense has even given up on the whole system of what they're trying to do, the best thing they could do is score as much goal so that the other team don't score you more. You really want to score more goals than the other team. Do you see what I'm saying? Like if you look at the West Ham game, it's more like score as much goals that they don't score you.
Yeah.
That's what it comes to.
What about James's question here? And James on baby duty tonight, so he can come on and join in with us on the chat. But what are you guys' thoughts on the lineup with Kane and Vinny up top? So Andre, what do you think about what do you think about that?
Okay. I first think that Jose he was forced to make some changes because of like Sonny wasn't available, Toby wasn't available. So I think Toby would have started instead of Rodon. We have been seeing that partnership of Toby and Sanchez for the past few games. And I'm not sure that Vinicius would have started either. Because like if you have two strikers, then where does Sonny play? Because you know that Sonny likes to like join the attack. He's not a winger that stays back.
Yeah.
So
No, I agree.
I think that lineup is going to change against Newcastle because we are going to have like pretty much everyone back.
Yeah, Son should be back, but like I said, I like having two people up top. I really think it adds a dimension to, especially if you want to play a really attacking.
Except Davies. Davies is not going to be back.
Yeah, well, I hope Davies isn't back.
No,
Regulon better be
Vinicius'
No,
energy
Regulon
in the
should
press
be back.
was really helpful.
I said Davies leg broke or something like that during training and stuff. During training for the game, I think that's what I heard.
Well, I hope for his humanity that he recovers quickly and he isn't in too much pain. But from a footballing aspect, I'm glad he won't be available for the squad. But I mean, I don't want any ill will or ill intent to happen to him physically, right? Like I'm not going to be, AFTV and celebrate somebody getting injured. But am I disappointed that he won't be available to play the next match? No, I'm not. I'm not disappointed, but I hope he recovers quickly.
Wait, on that really quickly. What are your thoughts on Davies' performance when he came on? Because I think
he did all right.
He looked really good. Like he did not look like the typical Davies like that. Just sits back and gets all that over. He was like joining the attack.
Because I think that after those two losses, which he was a big part of, right? Mm-hmm. Especially the one in Europe on Thursday night. Because, if I was to blame Jose for any aspect of that loss, it would be because he started Davies over Regulon, right? And so for me, I think there are certain players that can come off the bench and look far better than they do when they're responsible for setting the pace of the game, right? Because when you're coming in off the bench, there's a different mentality. it's a psychological one too. You're coming off the bench, you're fresh, everyone else isn't. So it's easy to appear as having more energy than others, right? And I think that's what, like Lamella, when he comes on as a sub, he looks far better than he does when he starts a match, right? In my opinion, Lucas Moura is the same way too. That's why being a substitute can be a tricky deal, because you can appear to do more, because not only are you at a psychological, you're not mentally drained, you're not physically drained. So you putting out more effort causes more positive change, makes a more positive impact on the team. And that's why squad players are important. That's why they have substitutes in the first place. But Davies as a starting left back is absolutely horrible. And it really depends on the team too. Right. So, I'm not a fan of Davies. I wish him well, with his family and stuff like that, and as a person, but
even David doesn't like him. I think it's his countryman, right? Even David doesn't like him.
Well, he's from Wales, so it's not quite his countryman, but
no, it's Doherty. He doesn't like both of them. Davies and Doherty doesn't like none of them too. Anyway,
got a Tottenham teacher in the chat. But Jose, what do you think, man? You've been over there kind of quiet, just listening and hanging out, which we appreciate. But
you guys hear me all right?
Yeah.
Okay, sweet. I like the like Andre was saying, it was a necessary tweak to the system because of people being out. I did like the energy from Vinicius up top, helping with the press, and then Gio I thought played really well. You could constantly see him in the midfield directing traffic, telling other people where to go, just to keep the flow of the game that we had so well going.
Yeah.
I don't think it should be our standard type of play, our standard formation, but I think some players really showed what they're capable of, which is good because, as Jose wanted, he wants players that are going to go out there and play for the badge. So, I thought it was a good opportunity for those players, and they took advantage of it. Like Tanganga, for example, came out and played well, and it's also a good game to come back from injury and get some good minutes in.
With some confidence too.
Yeah.
As well, yeah.
It was a little rusty, but you can tell it's just coming back.
Yeah.
It's like, and I just want to add to the question you asked Andrea earlier.
Mm-hmm.
The Kane and Vinicius together thing.
Mm-hmm.
That wasn't the first time he played them together. I think that was like the second time.
First time in the Premier League, I think.
No. Second time. He played them before, but he played them. He played Vinicius not together. I brought Vinicius in.
Yeah, I think I brought him on for Kane one time.
He brought him for like the last 10 minutes. And that was how we were able to score the goal, because Vinicius was like bringing all the defenders towards him, while Kane has a lot of space to score. I think, is that what happened, or is it the other way around? And there was a game like that they were trying to score. They were playing I think, was it Buntley we were playing? Whoever we were playing defense. It was so blocked. Everything was so blocked up. They couldn't score until
against West Brom.
It was okay. Then he brought Vinicius in, and there were more room when Vinicius came in, because was it Vinicius that scored, or was it Kane that scored? It was one of them. One of them was.
That was his first.
Kane.
It was his first goal. It was Kane that scored. This was his first goal in the Premier League this season. So.
Yeah. So it was distracting because initially when the first ball got to him, when they saw the kind of tricks he got, the defense started getting scared. Like, wow, this guy got skills. So they started moving away from Kane towards him. That's when Kane had a lot of space it was a cross. I think it was a cross, and he headed the ball in at the last minute. I think it was the last minute to go, something like that.
Yeah, no, I agree. And for James here, I think this, you guys tell me if you think this is a good idea or not, but for this international break, since there's not a lot of content going on, I'm thinking about setting up a rant show for each individual player and just kind of bringing people and let them talk about, Regulon will be the main topic. I mean, obviously, all of our streams, because they're so long, they always delve off into other topics. But just kind of like tonight, where it was about like Bale setting up, because there's nothing really going on. So I think it's because we'll do tonight was kind of like the front three, and then the next stream will be kind of like the mid three, and then the next stream will be the back five, and I think that gives us 3 or 4 streams in there in between the Newcastle match. So maybe a few more in between here just for fun. But I think, James, that's what we're gonna do. So yeah, tonight we kind of covered the front three. If anybody has any more, who would you want to see? So if we're talking about the front three tonight, who would you guys want to see? We'll start with Jose first on this one.
To rant on?
Yeah. And who would you like to see come in that might fill out that front three? Like if Bale's moving on and we end up keeping Kane and Son.
I'd like to. I was actually looking into it. Lozano, although he's on contract till 2024, I think Lozano would be a good addition to the team. He's valued at $50 million right now, and he's putting up numbers for Napoli.
Yeah, he's got quite a few goals and assists, and that's what it's like. My expectation for somebody who plays in the attack, if you're not the main striker, if you're the main striker, you need to be getting 20 plus goals a season at minimum. And if you're playing on the wings, you need to be hitting 10 to 12 plus goals with at least 5 or 6 assists. And if you're playing attacking midfield, you need to be hitting at a minimum of an 8-5 number, 8 goals, 5 assists. And if you don't hit that number, you don't deserve to play. But that's going into the midfield. But
also the market that he brings.
Yeah,
that
all
he could
of
bring,
yeah.
all of that, it's
huge.
Huge, yeah.
I mean, there's a pretty big Hispanic following for Spurs anyway. So,
but then you unite half of probably stay with Jimenez over at Wolves, but then you bring in. I think he's a higher caliber player, Lozano, than over Jimenez.
There's a lot. I think Mexican Spurs supporters club would disagree with you, though. He'd rather have Jimenez than Chucky. Chucky's younger than Jimenez, though, isn't he? Jimenez is fairly old.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, he's way younger.
Yeah, Chucky's like 24.
Is Jimenez gonna be able to play like he's playing before? You think?
I hope so.
From the head injury, right?
Yeah, the head injury. It's hard to say, to be honest. It's kind of a tough one now. You never know.
I do have a question I wanted to ask you guys one at a time. Do you think I was talking about Andre mentioned it. I was talking about 3-4-3 formation. Do you think if everybody comes back next season, do you think a pair of Højbjerg and Skip in the middle, do you think that would work better?
One more time, I missed that. I'm sorry.
I'm saying that I'm thinking about the 3-4-3 formation, and at the same time, I'm thinking about our regular formation, 4-2-3-1. Do you think a combination of like Højbjerg and Skip in the middle will work better?
Yeah, I do. I think if you're looking at the players we have now, like if we're not going to bring in another center defensive midfielder, then yeah, Skip is the starter for me. There's no doubt in my mind that I'd be playing Skip as a starter if we had the exact same squad plus bringing in our.
But that would be a problem. I think Speak and Højbjerg will be a perfect match. But the problem is if they do get injured, who will come to that spot? That's where the question is. You see how much games Højbjerg played, and the last, I think 4 or 5 games before, he started making a lot of mistakes because he's so exhausted. You can see that he's exhausted. He's running on fumes. He's pretty much running on fumes.
You've got Ndombele that can fill in there too, right? So, there's other people.
Because if Dele Alli goes, I want Ndombele to play like at number 10. Lo Celso gets injured a lot. So should you use Ndombele? I don't want Ndombele to lose his running and energy and everything. Because if he stop playing or he's playing as a backup, he's gonna get exhausted.
Right.
that's
So what
why I
I'm
think-
saying is, if our exact same squad that we have now, right?
Mhm.
Nobody sold, nobody coming in. The only people coming in are the returns from loan, right?
Mhm.
Then I think Sissoko and Winks are bench fodder. My opinion on Harry Winks right now, after just kind of seeing his attitude, and he hasn't. What makes me mad about Harry Winks is all the talk in the press about his attitude, and he hasn't come out and countered it, not even once, right? Like if somebody in the press, now I understand that the press goes off and says whatever they want to say all the time, but that's a pretty serious claim. If you're claiming that I don't care about the shirt, right? Even though I grew up in this club, I came from this academy, I would take that super personal. And Kane was smart enough to come out almost immediately, the very next day, and say, "No, me and my wife, we're planning to stay here till forever and a day." Right? Why hasn't Harry Winks come out in the press and said, "I could care less about making the England squad. I want to make the England squad, but Spurs comes first." Da 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 da. If that were his true feelings. But they're not. He hasn't. Have you seen him come out and say anything? He says nothing. Silence. Dead silence. Attitude like that makes it even worse than, like, I can understand, right? You can have grumbles with your job. You can feel that you're being neglected or that you're not being appreciated for as much as you need. But if you're not going to come out and work for that, then what? Why are you here? I mean, why aren't you coming out and saying, "Hey, this club means something to me. This badge means something to me," right? This badge right here means something to me. I'm going to come out and I'm going to give it all for that shirt, right? But he hasn't. He just complains and gripes and being selfish. I don't know. What do you guys think?
Jose,
I mean,
what do you
I
think?
think that says it all. Like he's not, um, like he's not showing right. So I think Poch had a little bit to do with that, or actually not a little bit. He had a big part in that because he compared a lot of youngsters to like big players, right? Marcus Edwards to like he compared him to Messi and Winks to like Xavi,
Iniesta,
and you saw how like
right?
Marcus Edwards, yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
even who was the
yeah, and like Marcus Edwards had,
expressions called him Miniesta, right? Miniesta is what he called him. But I agree with Mexico
yeah,
Spurs
and so
SC
like
right here.
Marcus Edwards had like a lot of issues with attitude, right? So yeah, I think that's it all.
No, I agree 100%.
I want to say something about. There was this guy I was saying. Oh my God! Somebody wrote Winks is a rat. So anyway,
That's why I left it up there.
I want I want to say something about this guy called Younes, Yonnes. When I mentioned it earlier, when he spoke about
He's been on the channel a couple times. He's subscribed. He's been in the chat several times. Yeah.
it's a Chelsea content. It just so
Oh, Chelsea
when
content? There's a UNES here that has like a Spurs Atletico Madrid
no, it's
logo.
the guy talks about is a Chelsea fan and talks about I listened to him about his Jose's idea. He said Jose like people who are passionate, who are strong. Like you have Buntley, they play with
Man
strength.
smell. They got lots of man smell.
Yeah, like strong.
That's
with
my new
strength.
meme, by the way.
Yeah. So he was saying that there was a time in Chelsea that they were playing, okay, and their defender got injured, was sent to the hospital with a broken leg. He discharged himself to come back on the field, to come and stay on the sideline and keep an eye on the other player and said, do this, 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 do this. And I saw the same thing last week when Chelsea played with Atletico Madrid. You can see Silver up on the sideline, screaming at the player, saying, "Dude, move, move." He was telling, it was far away from them, but he was yelling. A player yelling at other players to go this way to defend with passion. I'm just saying that when you see these people, they play with anger and passion, and yes, we want to fight for this club. And I'm saying that when I look at the players, they seem disinterested to even be on the field.
Some of them,
Like,
not all of them, but just
yeah, like we tend to be like the fans tend to be the players, and the players tend to be the fans. And I'm like, what is going on? Like, because we as a fan, we know we could do better than what they're doing, right? Guys,
Cricket Records is
yeah.
Cricket Records really trying to stir the pot.
he's got to be trolling me here.
Yeah.
I think he's trolling me. Right? Like it's
pulling your legs, man.
are you trolling me right now? Is that what's going on? If not, I put the link in the chat.
Yeah, get him in here to defend his
let's
point of view.
Let's hear what he has to say about Wings.
Yeah, you got me.
Wings
You
is
got me.
World class.
But if you are serious, you can come in and we will respectfully hear you out.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if he saw Dombele's goal from just the number 7 spot. It was amazing. I don't know how you can score a goal like that. It was just beautiful. I mean, same thing. You see Lamela's goal, even though it was sent away. I mean, those goals are beautiful. The same thing with Kane's goal, the hat-tricks. It doesn't even have to look. It doesn't have to look.
What a guy.
When some players play, you see that these people got passion. And when you see Wings play, you'll be like, oh my God. Like anytime the ball is on Wings, I'm like literally shaking, like, oh my God, please don't lose the ball, because it passed side to side, side to side, side to side. That's it. Except if there's like a corner kick, the ball comes to him. It tries to be like what's this guy's name from Chelsea? The guy on the wing, the guy that when the ball bounces, it kicks it into the net. But he tried to do that. But anytime the balls bounce back to him, the second ball bounces back to him from a corner, he just kicks it over the.
Well, I'm gonna tell you what. If who are you talking about? Harry Winks? Is that what you're talking about?
Yes.
Yeah.
He just kicks. When the ball comes from the corner and bounces towards him, he just kicks it up like he wants to score. Sometimes he'll just kick it off. I think it was only once or twice it went in.
Yeah, well, I'm telling you right now, he needs to take all of his shots from 40 or 50 yards because they're so high. That's the only way they end up in the net. Right?
Yeah.
Is if they're out from 40 or 50 yards out, right?
Yeah.
If he's doing it from 18 to 20 yards, they go up into the second level of the stands, right?
Yeah. Yes.
But if he's from 50 yards out, they go up and then come down into the goal. So he needs to start doing that more often, in my opinion.
No. It tried to. I think it tried to be like Alonso. That's what I think it tried to do. It tried to be like Alonso, but it doesn't work. That's what it tried to be. You know what I'm talking about, Alonso? Because that's what he does. The guy, the right back from Chelsea, I think that's where he plays. Alonso. Yeah. That's all he tried to be. He tried to be like Alonso. Like when the ball bounced back, he smashed it to the corner every time. But every time he kicks the ball, it just goes way up way up on the seats. And I'm like, what are you doing? You got people in front of you. You could have passed still. You don't have to shoot it like that. You can pass to Dombele. Dombele is right in front of you.
But that's because he's selfish. He wants the glory for himself.
I know.
But I can tell you what, man.
What are you doing?
If Cricket Records really is a gooner, that means this channel's made it. If we've got Arsenal fans coming in here trolling us, right? So,
yep, you made it.
Welcome them all. Welcome them all. You can come on and have your say too. It's an open mic, buddy. But if you really are an Arsenal fan, I take back what I said about respectful because we will put it on.
we
We will put it on
because
you.
I think it's the Arsenal fan trying to be like, yeah, keep all the bad players so that we can keep winning you. That's all. It's, just keep all the bad. Because I see the mess with a lot of people on the internet a lot of time. Like they're like, oh yeah, just
And when you
keep
come on,
them. Keep everybody so you can be continued. I mean, I literally said on the thing that called us.
and if you come on the stream, I will put you at the very bottom, Cricket Records, right beneath me, so I can look down on you like I do where your standing is on the table, right? Because I gotta look down to
Amen.
see you on the table. But yeah, man, I think it's a good stream. But so, Andre, did you get to tell us about who you would want in the top three coming in the front three? Who would you like to see come into the front three?
No. Like, who we have in the squad right now, or like as in transfer?
No, like as like in a transfer. Who you'd want to bring? Who do you think would be a good player to bring into that front three?
I like Leon Bailey, but I'm not sure if he has that many goals, right? Do you know how many goals he has this season?
I think 8 or 9. Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah,
I'll look it up while you talk. I'll look it up.
Yeah. I think he's a good one, but I'm not sure if he's ready to make that instant impact like we need. And I've honestly been looking at wingers who we could possibly get, but it seems like we're always interested in wingers who play on the left, and so then they struggle when they come because they're not right wingers. I think you see that with Bergwijn. I mean, he's one-footed, and so he's not gonna cut in and shoot with his left.
Yeah, but we got to go with right guys. I mean, he's got for 2021, he's got 6 goals, 6 assists in Bundesliga, and 5 goals in 8 matches for the Europa League. So that's pretty good. Better than Mora. Almost as good as Bale numbers, right? Bale's at is better than Bale's numbers. All competitions, I think Bale has 10, right? 10 goals and 4 or 5 assists.
And how? How many matches have you played?
What does Sabitzer got? How many goals does Sabitzer got?
He's played all competitions, not including domestic cups. He's got 3, 8, 11, 35. 35 total 35 total appearances.
Oh my God. How much do you think it will
11 goals and 35. So it's it's 0.3 XG or goals per game, and then he has
so
you're talking about Sabitzer, right?
No, I'm talking about Bailey right now, and he has 11 assists overall.
So I would like to see a little bit more from him. But I think the right wing spot is a really difficult one to find. This Nico Gonzalez guy that we're looking at.
Yeah, he's a right winger.
Yeah, he plays both sides, but he's a left footed, so he can comfortably play the right wing. But
Sabitzer
Sabitzer
has 6 goals and 2 assists. So Bailey's got better numbers than Sabitzer this season so far. They're both yellow card happy though, unless that's just the Bundesliga, because both have 5+ yellow cards. We don't need
they have
because one thing that bothers me about all these players is when they come to a Premier League, it takes them a year to get it. So unlike Bruno came and started running right away. So the problem is it's also hard to me. I think Premier League is it's a good league, but with all the rules with strength and power is not there that much. Maybe I'm saying it depends on who is playing. If for some reason when Buntley's playing, they expect it. When Brighton is playing, it's expected. But when you're playing with some like some other teams, maybe Leeds, is you don't expect that too much to happen. Every if you keep trying to like kick the player, they will just give you red quick, you know. And for some reason, I think some of the I don't know, maybe it's because they hate Jose. They tend to give Tottenham players yellow quick for any little thing. They give you yellow quick, and I think some because
I
Jose
think
tend to fight everybody, fight the authorities and everything. So I think they're a little biased towards him and his team. So
I don't want to go straight, like tie conspiracy theory on anybody, but I think that there's definitely some base bias in referees' minds. Like if you know that a specific coach tends to have his players do that play a little more nasty, then and you start to see the evidence that's going to happen, the cards start coming out a lot easier, I think. But
that comes under it. So my thing about my whole point of where I'm trying to get to is that in Bundesliga, I see that they are more of speed, running and speed. But if you are in Premier League, there's no room to speed because the defense are there to stop you from speeding. So you can't speed. And when you cannot speed, you cannot function. Your strengths become reduced, And you can only speed if your defense is good. Like if you look at 3 years ago when Liverpool was at their peak, the beginning of their peak, they were playing like I thought it was a German team playing, because they were going with speed. Phew, 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 phew. They were so fast. Everybody's going. So, and I don't know if you can play that. Even now, they try to go speed, but they shut them down in the middle. And when they shut them down, it slows everything down. In the final third, that's when they go speed. Usually they don't go speed. They slow the game down. They pass sideways. Then you see the long ball from Van Dijk. Phew! Then the speed start going. That's about it. So my take is, how do you function if there is no speed? So if you bring this player in and he cannot speed, then how is he gonna be able to work? It takes a while for them to get used to the system here. That's just my take on that. Because my take would be maybe they should go to like the champions. Is that the one the step down from Premier League to get players there? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
They step down from the Premier League to get players there because that's where Watkins came from, right?
Yeah, the relegation, the Championship League.
Yeah, Championship play. Yeah, that's where Watkins came from. And look how Watkins is good.
I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm a huge fan of Ivan Toney, dude. I've watched a ton of his stuff, and the dude reminds me of Harry Kane with the way that he puts Ivan Toney. He plays for Brentford now. He's Ollie Watkins' replacement at Brentford. He came up from League Two, or League One, or League Two, the division right below the Championship League, League One, I believe. But he came up from League One and had the golden boot there, and now he's like, I think he's on. Last time I checked, it may be more now, but he was at like 26 goals with like 10 assists. And I'm telling you, the guy, he's one of those guys that can drop deep and play and fill in like Kane. Like the only reason why I think it'd be a huge loss to lose Harry Kane is his ability to what he can do in the midfield, dropping deep, collecting balls, and then playing amazing passes up to attackers making runs in behind. I think Ivan Toney from the highlight reels that I've watched on him, he tends to do that a lot. And for him to have 20s, Ivan Toney.
No. I'm talking about is it bowling? What's that thing called? The thing called in Spain when you win
Oh, Ballon d'Or.
Ballon d'Or. I, I hope Harry Kane can win a Ballon d'Or because it's a all-round field player. He's
Yeah,
the
but they'll,
best player
if
in
he
the
doesn't
world.
win a trophy, he'll never win the Ballon d'Or. They don't. They don't.
Wow.
If you don't win something that year, you don't get Ballon d'Or. You can't.
Wow.
Yeah, he might get like Premier League Player of the Year or something like that, but definitely not the Ballon d'Or unless we win a trophy, which I don't think they're going to give it for the Caribou Cup, the Energy Cup. Now, look, and this is the thing too. Do you think there's some cultural things here? Like all of us here, Asamal, are you from North America? Do you live in North America now, or do you live where?
I live in America. I live in Washington D.C. actually.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I used to live in Virginia for a long time, so
Yeah.
they I think there might be a cultural aspect, right? If you notice here, I haven't heard very many Americans, like even Dakota today on I can't remember what channel he was on or what show he was on. The guy from Podspur TV. He's an American guy. I think all those guys are American guys. Since they do shows in the day, they should come on this show too. So if you know them, tag them and share the stream to us. But it was on Matty Hayes. Thanks, Dan. He even kind of said that the Bale thing was kind of a nothing burger. Do you think it's like a cultural thing where because like that players or athletes here in the US tend to make kind of no nonsense claims like that, and it doesn't really get people's skirts in a bunch? But it seemed to me like a lot of the guys in the UK were really, really upset with those comments. And I mean, do you think there's a cultural difference there? And like even with what you were just talking about earlier, Awesome, I think that they that stuff like that tends to bother those guys way more than it bothers us, I think.
I can see that.
I mean, I don't know. I'd have to, if there's any guys in the UK out watching and you want to come on and talk about it, you're more than welcome. I'll throw that link in there again because there's definitely more people watching the video than are in the chat.
I think it has like a double the effect to them as it does to us. Anything that's said related to the sport, related to their team.
I don't know, because I can get pretty ticked off. Like with those guys from ESPN when what they said about Harry Kane, that made me real mad.
Right, but
real mad. Like I didn't
I'm
watch.
saying like read into it more.
Yeah.
Like the Bale stuff. You know, we were saying we agreed that it was not something to be so worried about, and yet, as you stated yourself, they other people, especially from across the pond, have kind of read into it more and are taking it more personal, more. What's what I'm looking for? Kind of sort of disrespect, almost, I guess you could say. And I don't personally see it as that way, you know.
Yeah, I think Cricket Rickards, might have a point here, and that's definitely why he never wanted to play for Arsenal. So you guys have been bottling it for the last 10 years, and you like to come in here and give us a hard time because we bounce in and out of 4th and 6th. I mean, come on now.
Oh my goodness.
I'm not shy, Cricket. You don't want to get into a banter battle with me, my friend. Definitely don't want to get into a banter battle with me. I'd love it, dude. That'd be a great rant show one day. So I ought to reach out to some Arsenal channels, especially here in the US, and see if some guys want to come up and do like a little banter battle. It would be it'd be a fun time. But and I'm very kind of like my sense of humor is very passively insulting, right? So like when I was on the Tottenham away North London Derby pre match stream or whatever, and there's a couple Arsenal guys on there, and I cut him up a little bit, but it's not rude. It's just
how it is.
yeah. But it's easy. It's too easy with the Arsenal people. It's a lot harder when with clubs that are actually in the top 6. It's a lot easier. Or a lot harder, sorry. But yeah, Podspur TV is good. I think they're quite a big channel, a lot bigger channel than me. I'm not 100% sure. I'm sure they are. They've been around a lot longer.
You guys think Højbjerg is that good of a player, or is it the system that he's playing under that makes him, excel?
I think it's both. I think average players in a system that fits their style can be a lot better. Banter FC has been fighting for top 10. Who's Banter FC? Arsenal's been fighting for top 10. Yes, that's true. Brit fans are the most passionate and very tribal. I don't really see him as being tribal, and I don't think it's necessarily even a passion thing, because I know that I seem very kind of calm and textured and stuff like that. But if you were ever to see me, and maybe I'll be able to go on a full watch along on Matty Hayes' channel at some point in time. He asked me this past time, but I had to do some moderation over at the We Are Tottenham TV channel. And but I'll get, if you want to see me get nuts, I mean, you can ask my wife and kids that I'm screaming at the TV and jumping up and down and screaming, "Get in!" Like, I would make Marcelo and David look fairly calm watching the actual match. Then after the fact, I can come on and be reserved and keep my wits about me and stuff like that. But I can get pretty wild.
Don't tempt them.
But yeah, so yeah, we ought to have. I'm just kind of looking at the Podspur TV guys. They're not too much bigger than me that they could snub their nose on coming on. Being, fellow Yanks that are passionate about Tottenham content, and looks like they do streams, but it looks like they do streams earlier in the day. But I don't know if maybe they won't, because they don't like the new guy in town coming in on their turf. But they don't do streams at this time, so it's okay.
You got your own thing. You got the night.
Yeah, I am the Conan O'Brien of Spurs content.
Exactly.
A late night show.
Late night show, yeah.
The late night show.
Yeah.
Will Stewart Rants. Right. That's me.
Mm-hmm.
So Will versus Troops. That'd be fun.
Don't worry.
Troops is way too big for me.
Don't worry. To me, I say it as a way, like, I give you like 2-3 months. Your supporters are gonna probably be bigger than them soon, because people don't know about this yet. They are coming to know about it. I find out about it on one of David's channel, while you were there sending a tweet and you talked about it. I think that's how I was able to even stumble on it. I was like, oh, wow.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's been. I've been absolutely flattered. I mean, I
don't know about it. Yeah,
I'll tell you what. I was totally prepared for like the first month to sit here and rant by myself, and I haven't had to yet. I mean, even tonight, I got 4 guys on the show. I've had at least 2 people on the show every show, and it's been great. Like, I mean, I think the thing that kind of separates this channel from the others is, 1, it's a fairly long stream, and 2, that it's open for everybody. And I don't want to give my secrets away or anything like that, but I think that's what makes the show a little bit more entertaining to watch, is that it's more of just kind of like a conversation. And even if you're not on the screen, I can just tell by the number of chats that people just feel like they're involved in the conversation, even if I miss their comments.
Definitely.
Because I got to get better at multitasking, because I tend to, when I'm listening to you guys, ignore. So I've tried to position. If you notice, I'm looking looking off a little bit later. I've tried to rearrange my room here a little bit better so that I can kind of see both at the same time. And I think I've done better with bringing content with comments up on the screen faster. But no, this is your guys' channels as much as it is mine, and I really appreciate everybody coming on and stuff like that. And yeah, we've got about 15 more minutes here before we call it a night for our 3-hour stream. And so I'll go around and have everybody kind of give the closing comments on basically, maybe give like your guys' thoughts on the Newcastle match coming up and or any other thoughts that you want to make. So Awesome Mall, we'll go ahead and start with you. And we'll go around the table.
I don't want them to bottle it on this one because I don't know. Because I'm gonna be honest with you. There's friction in the locker room. We all know that. We might pretend we don't know, but that's just the truth. And the friction is we want Jose out and we want Jose in. Yeah. And they're like people in the middle, Kane, we know the people that want Jose in, and the people that played last week are Jose in. We all know because he already said it on first one. So, I'm a bit nervous, so I'm not gonna predict anything of the win because
come on, stick your neck out there, stick it out.
when you're in a situation whereby someone already went to Jose a while ago and said, "Hey, I don't care about the badge. I only want to play for the Euros," And somebody came on TV the other day and said, "Hey," because the only reason why Winks would say that is because he's hearing it around the locker room with Bale's probably like flaunting it around, like, "Hey, I just want to get ready for Euros. I don't want to get ready for Euros," because why would Winks say, "Play me because I want to play for the Euros"? That's what and. If Winks is playing, the game is over. If Winks is playing, if Davis is playing, Sissoko is playing, the game is over. There's no even point to watch the game. But other than that, if you play, I don't know if Gareth Bale will want to play, and I don't know how. The thing is, you can tell people to go and play. When they get on the field, it's a different story. So I don't know if will Lamela be ready to play or still on red?
No, he should be off his ban. He should be back. He should be
back.
available to be selected.
So I think if Lamela, I want Lamela, Kane, and Son. Will Son be back?
Most likely, yes.
Yeah, Lamela, Kane, and Son up front, and Lucas Moura right there at number 10, and play everybody else except no Dyer and Aurier on the left and Reguilon, Aurier on the right, Reguilon on the left. Instead of doing Sanchez, I want to do Rodon.
I'll mute you for a second, James.
I rather want to do Rodon and Toby, actually. If I was gonna go with that, that's what I would go with. That's the team I'll go with. And my prediction for that would probably be maybe 6-0 for that. That's pretty high there. If that's the team that's playing, I'll go for 6-0.
Yeah. All right, sounds good. Jose?
It's pretty obvious we need the 3 points. And if West Ham and Chelsea take the loss and we have a high enough goal difference, we'll be in the top 4. So it's what we're after. I'd like to see Tanganga in it right back again. I'd like to see Bale back in. Was there any word on Reggie's injury? I know he went off versus I know he went off injured. Was there any update on him?
I think he's fine. I don't think it was a serious knock.
Because he was screaming bloody murder. I don't know if you heard if
Yeah,
you watched the video. So yeah, I think with that lineup, we'll be in a good place, and hopefully Sonny's back as well. So
Sonny should be back as well too, I believe.
yeah, so I think we'll be in a good spot for the 3 points.
Should be good. And what about your score prediction? Do you think I missed it? I'm sorry.
I think we're gonna go 2-0.
2-0.
Yep.
All right, Andre, what do you think, my man? What do you think? What are your thoughts on Newcastle?
Andre,
Did we just lose you?
I think his internet. I can hear him. I think his internet is going in and out. Andre, I can hear him, but it's back. Right? Is he back?
I don't think he's back yet. I think he's working on something. Anyway, so James, welcome to the show.
Hey, I just got the baby to bed, but I just want to say thank you for the show, man. Thank you for the platform. Appreciate it. Tottenham 2-0 versus Newcastle for sure.
And how do you think we're gonna line up? What are you hoping to see for as far as like predicted 11?
Well, I think we're gonna maybe do what we did last time, but after what Bale said, I don't know if we're gonna get him in there. So, don't you think that? I mean, I've listened to the whole stream, but what after Bale said? I don't think Jose could just let him back in the team. Don't you think?
I don't know. I think it just needs a little bit of clarification, right? And
right. I mean, when I listened to the whole thing, I was like, "Oh, I can totally understand what he was saying." I mean, that's what any NFL player would say, as in, like, just looking out for yourself, playing. I mean, he was just telling the truth, I thought, but I don't think Jose Mourinho could let that go through with the team and with the confidence that he has in the team too. So,
yeah, I think what you're saying makes sense. If this was like end of February when he was scoring a lot of goals, he was doing this. If this was that, then that's fine because everybody would be like, "Oh, he's scoring a lot of goals. He wants to play." It won't be a problem. But the fact that you said it after you didn't play very well, you walked off the Arsenal so angry that you're gonna say, "Oh, I only care about Wales." It's a wrong timing. It just makes it bad because, but why would you? The thing is, why would you even say that? You should have keep your thought to yourself. No comment would have been a better option. Even right now,
right.
You're trying to be like, I'm bigger than the club. I'm bigger than Tottenham. We know if you want to show you're bigger than Tottenham, you're bigger than Tottenham. But you don't have to go there and say it. Just keep it to yourself.
But I mean, that's what NFL players in America say all the time. They're just like, well, I'm just going to stay here and play for so-and-so team, and and in the next year, yes, I'll go play for them too. I mean, I think he was just being not
PC,
economical for his own reasons. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it was just being sarcastic. I know it was just being sarcastic, but still.
I don't think it was necessarily sarcasm. I think it was. I just think he didn't think through what he said. I don't think he realized that which I could be wrong because I'm not Gareth Bale and I didn't grow up in his culture. So if that's culturally inappropriate to do, which it seems like it is because so many people in England got upset about it.
I don't know. Man. It like
even Arsenal fans.
Man, it was like all over.
Arsenal fans got upset about it. too.
Arsenal fans say?
Yeah.
I don't know. I
Because
don't.
they feel insulted. They said they feel insulted that is insulting their game, like Premier League, something like that. Saying they feel like it's insulting the Premier League, something like that.
To be honest with you, I don't
Not because
listen
of
to.
us, but because the way he said it. Like, I'm just gonna go to Real Madrid. I don't care about your Premier League. You can keep it to yourself. I'm gone. Something like that.
But
Yeah,
let me say, okay, so let's say Ronaldo said this about going to Portugal. Would that be the same thing? No?
Probably. I mean, probably. It just depends on where he said it, I guess.
But I mean, it's
Oh no. If he had said it,
but he hasn't had the
hopefully-
history that AKA Gary the golfer does. So
I mean, if he had gone to, if Ronaldo would have said it in Portugal and said, "Hey, I want to go back to Real Madrid. I don't care about Juventus anymore." Come on now, the Italians are not gonna find it happy with that. His car might be damaged by the time his limousine might
but
be
I mean,
damaged before he
once
gets
again,
it.
Bale basically said what his contract was. That's all.
Yeah.
That's all he did.
That's what I'm saying.
That
All
says
these things that he's saying, we already know. That was the whole purpose of his contract. He's not supposed
I
to
know.
be the one to say.
So when he's being interviewed, he's just basically saying what his contract is, and not
I
just
know, but we
controversy.
already know.
He's saying his contract, but yet saying his contract starts the controversy.
But I get what you're saying, but what I'm saying is, it shouldn't be the one to say it. If this, okay, for example, if this was coming from his agent, I could understand. But if it's coming from you on a live TV before you play the Wales game, it just makes it awkward.
But I'll tell you, I think it's a bit of a loaded question because think about it. If she'd have asked that same question and he said no comment, then people would have been like, "Ooh, Gareth Bale said no comment," right? And then if he would have said, "Oh, I'm not worried about the summer right now. I'm just focusing on the day to day," right? People would be like, "Oh, he's not confirming he's coming. He wants to come back," right?
Oh,
it didn't matter what he said. They're gonna pick holes in it because it's really kind of a loaded question. Especially if you listen to the way the reporter asked it, I'd have to quote her word for word to get it right. But I mean, just to summarize generally, she was just like, you're playing right now. The fact that your contract situation isn't secure don't you think that might cause you to have worries coming into the Euros, right? So he has to justify like 4 different points. So not only has she told him, made the statement that his contract situation isn't squared away, and 2, that not being squared away could eventually affect his playing ability for his country in the Euros, right? He's really it's a loaded question, right? No matter how he answers it, it's either going to make Tottenham look bad or it's going to make Wales look bad. And so
plus, well, like exactly what you're saying, it was from a Welsh reporter reporting on the Welsh team. I mean,
that's what I'm saying. That it should have been coming from him. This thing should have.
He's got to answer. He has to answer. He's got to say something.
Okay, let me give you a good example. Remember when Jose used to start the game in the beginning of the season, when they asked him, "Oh, what do you think about it? Do you think you're gonna win the league?" He said, "No, I'll take the game one at a time. I'm gonna win some, I'm gonna lose some." Right? When they asked the player in another game, they said exactly the same thing, word for word. We're gonna just take this game one at a time. We are not looking forward to another.
That's
game.
an easier question, though. That's a lot easier question than you're.
But then I just say, hey, I have love for fans. I have the love for sports fan. I'm happy at sports. When my contract ends, I'm gonna return to.
That's what he said.
Where I'm from. If I'm but I have love for the fans. That's it. Unlike
if you'd added, you could have said
because the reason is,
honestly, if you watch the whole interview, didn't he say that? Didn't he say, "Yeah, I'm glad that I come back. the fans and blah blah blah. Like I think I'll have to go back and watch it again. But I think in the whole interview, he made comments, not just the 2 clips that are struggling around social media, but he made a comment about, being glad to being back, da da da. And then she asked him about the contract situation, and that's when he said that. And the question before that, she had asked him about, the difficulties and the hard times and the going on at Tottenham. And he was just like,
that is the point. That is the point I'm trying to get. That's the point I'm been saying. All this is because everybody's trying to find out what Lloris said. They want to know what Lloris said. Everybody wants to know the details of what. All this is about. What?
So his answer was,
are you the one Lloris is talking about that you're causing a lot of drama in the dressing room? That's all that is.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. And his answer was, no,
that, right?
Yeah, that's exactly why she asked it. 100%.
To figure out what happened in the dressing room.
But his answer was the right one to give. He's like, look, I'm just, it's sometimes international football. It's a good break to kind of get away from the, the stresses and the difficulties of the club of your club team. I mean, that's what he said. But people got upset about that too. But there are difficulties. I mean, talk about what kind of, in what state were all the fans, before the Aston Villa game? Like if you would have made those say we lost to Aston Villa and he made that same comments, nobody would have had a problem. Not one person.
Nope.
Guaranteed.
Yep. But the problem is, it's not Gareth Bale. I mean, or probably
is it the reporter?
I mean,
she was definitely asking loaded questions. I think.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, I'm just because he knows that Gareth Bale's weakness is Wales, and he knows that anytime he talks about Wales, it would just melt like ice cream and keep running his mouth up saying things it's not supposed to say because you're talking about Wales. Yeah. Oh my God, Wales. Yeah. This, that. But the whole thing.
And if anything, Gareth Bale is like the worst interview of all time. I mean,
he's horrible.
To answer questions.
That's why you have to script. You have to script what you want to say before you get there. You have to script it.
It's great. Yeah, like even his interviews when he first came back to the club were horrible. I'm glad to be back. Yeah, my memories here at Tottenham were really, some of the best moments. Yeah, I just want to play football and it's like it just goes on.
Yeah. How many times can you say the word man? Jeez.
Mm-hmm.
He's a lot like Christian Pulisic. He's a horrible interviewer too.
Oh yeah.
Good God.
Bad too. Yeah.
So my question for you guys is that since we are here now, okay, to the rest of the season, do you think Gareth Bale should play?
Oh
yeah.
I think he should. Hell yeah.
Well,
definitely.
Gareth Bale can only function if we are in a possession game. But what if we have to defend? Okay, for example, there's a perfect one.
We don't
Do you
defend
think Gareth
now.
Bale should play in the cup league, the final one? Do you think he should play?
Okay, let me.
Because I'm
Gareth
nervous.
Bale? Yes.
Yeah,
My
for
God.
sure. Let me
Has he
ask you.
played in the
What,
final of
But
the Champions
we have
League
to
of the UEFA?
defend.
Yes, he should
But
play.
we have to defend for 90 minutes. How can he do that?
name me a player you think is good at defending in that position. At Spurs.
Yeah.
My
Tell me a
God.
player. Just name one.
But look at him on Arsenal. He was walking around. So is he gonna be walking around again?
No, just name one player to compare him with that you think is a better in his position.
Lamela, maybe.
Okay.
Lamela plays on that better on that. Lamela or what's his name? What's the guy's name? That was playing there before.
Okay. So attacking wise,
Bergwijn.
Gareth Bale has 5 goals and two assists in the Premier League, right? So 7 attacks. But defending wise, you said Gareth Bale doesn't defend, right?
Yeah.
Gareth Bale has conceded 8 goals. Played in matches that conceded 8 goals. Lamela has conceded 13. Right?
What about Bergwijn?
Well, let me go through Lamela first because he's the one that I really know a lot about, right? Then I'll get to Bergwijn.
Bergwijn don't play.
Gareth Bale has 1 block. Eric Lamela has 0. Gareth Bale has 5 interceptions. Eric Lamela has 6. Gareth Bale has 10 tackles. Eric Lamela has 15.
Wow.
Gareth Bale has won 5 out of 10, and Lamela's only won 8 out of 15. Gareth Bale has 9 clearances. Lamela has 1. Gareth Bale has 7 headed clearances. Eric Lamela has 0. Gareth Bale has won 14 aerial battles. Eric Lamela has only won 6. And they've only had, and Eric Lamela has had 5 more appearances than Gareth Bale. So this is what I really gets me about the Eric Lamela folks that out there love him, right? The Eric Lamela fanboys. Gareth Bale has better defensive stats than Eric Lamela with 5 less appearances, and people want to slag off Gareth Bale for not getting back in defending. But the stats are right there.
Yeah, it's not because I don't have a problem, because what I'm saying is this is the league final. Every Spurs want a cup. Would Gareth Bale mentality that day to defend if we score 2 goals first?
Hey,
I think he would step up.
stood up for Real in the UEFA Championship final and hit the goal shot too. So I put him in.
Yeah, it's
Even,
even Steven Bergwijn.
And we score 2 goals first. Do you think that he would like to sit back and defend the whole rest of the 80 minutes left?
So even Steven Bergwijn, appearance wise, is at let me try to focus this in here. Okay. He's had 12 appearances. Gareth Bale's had 12. Steven Bergwijn's had 17. More goals, more assists, less clean sheets. But look at the defending statistics. So Gareth Bale's over here. Steven Bergwijn's over here. So Gareth Bale's defensive statistics are better than even Bergwijn's.
Yeah. So, okay, my question is, we're back to what we call mentality. So what do you think we can do about the mentality? Is everything comes down to mentality?
No, I just think that people get confused too much on what the players that people say run around a lot and put in a shift, right? It's different. Højbjerg does that, puts in a shift, but he gets stuff done, right? If you look at his statistics reflect his intensity on the pitch. Other players, they may run around a lot. Like you saw Eric Lamela's heat map for 18-19. It's smoke and mirrors. I'm telling you, smoke and mirrors.
Well,
and
that heat though, I mean, that was more like a light flame sort of deal.
Yeah, it wasn't even a heat map. I mean, that was all. What? Maybe that's even worse. I don't know. But that was the entire 18-19 season condensed into one heat map. So that wasn't just one match. That was the whole season. Oh, dear Lord. But
sorry to interrupt you. Sorry.
No, it's all good. Yeah, brings more to the game, a lot better. I mean, look, think about it. That same game where Lamela used the outside of his boot to flick on to shoot that goal and it hit the post and Harry Kane scored. After he went off and Gareth Bale came on and Gareth Bale did the exact same thing. Did you see how much more precise that cross was with the outside? I mean, it's all day. And yes, he's old. Yes, he doesn't run back. But here's the thing. This is what I always tell my son. If your positioning is good, right? If your position is good, if your movement off the ball is smart, you don't have to run as much because you're already in a position to pick off a pass, to pick up a runner, to do whatever you need to do because you're reading the game, right? If you can read the game better than everyone else, just like Iniesta, right? So Iniesta could read the game so well, it didn't matter that he was short, chunky, and slow, right? He could get into positions, not only attacking, but also defensive and make impacts on the game because his vision was so good. That's what it is all about. Off the ball movement, what you're doing when you don't have the ball, reading the way that the play is going to move. Lamela has no IQ. It's all just run. All run with no brain, right?
And that's my point when I came.
Energizer Bunny, twist it up, throw it in there, let him go, and that's it.
That's my point when I came on the stream. Remember, the first thing I said when I came on the stream is the way Harry Kane is the best defender, is the best midfield, is the best number 10, and is the best 9 is because he can read the game. If you have players, you just need 5 players that can read the game, you're going to win the Champions League. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to that. If you can read the game, Harry Kane doesn't. When Harry Kane gets the ball, he drops down, even to the defense. Sometimes the ball comes to him. He plays it back to Dembele. Dembele plays it back to him when he moves a little forward, and he doesn't look at the ball. The ball just ends up in front of Son. He doesn't look. He just passes it because he knows where he's gonna be. Because you can read the game. If you cannot read the game, you cannot play. I said to you, Bruno Fernando. Bruno is not
Read
a
the
good
game,
player,
yeah.
but
No, I
he
agree
can
with you.
read the game.
No, yeah,
He was a
100%.
It
That's
was
what I'm saying.
DM that
Who
they're
else do we
using as
have?
number 10.
Who else do we have in that
And they
right
can read the
side
game.
that has that vision? Right, Lucas Moore doesn't read the game that well. Right, he's more of an
No,
energizer buddy. Right,
no.
bunny. Lamella's an
I know.
energizer bunny.
I know. To me, I think Bale can read the game better than anybody else. That is why, if you look at the combination between Bale and Kane, the last goal they scored together, because they can both read the game. You can tell. It doesn't take a rock. That's why I said Bruno Fernando is not that good, but he can read the game. Pogba is considered as the best midfield in the world because he can read the game. These people, they are not all that. It doesn't take a rocket scientist, but they can read the game. You know where they're gonna go. You know what side they're gonna be. You know where they're supposed to be.
All
But-
superstars are have huge football IQs,
IQ.
footballing IQs, and they can read the game better than anyone else, and that's what makes them a superstar, right? Some of them may have really good physical attributes as well. But
Yeah,
Lionel Messi, he's not the fastest guy on the pitch in a
he's
straight
not the
run.
fastest guy. He's not even fast.
He's not the biggest guy.
Yeah,
But what he is super smart, super intelligent on the ball, and able to make people. He's able to mold the game to his weaknesses, right? That's what a superstar does. They mold the game
there
to
you
their
go.
weaknesses.
They made the goal to their weaknesses. Yeah,
I mean,
that's the thing. If you look at Fabregas is not that fast, but when Fabregas play, you think it is Iniesta. Fabregas, Iniesta, they're all in the same level because the way they read the game, you will know the ball will just end up in box 18. Because there's a striker there who knows I'm gonna put this ball in. You'll be like, what? Yeah, they know they're gonna put the ball in, but they are just running. All the defenders doesn't know what's going on. They're just running everywhere. That's why when you know a good defender, like Real Madrid's defender, what's his name? The guy recently he stopped a ball from going in. Is when you can see a ball going.
So I haven't watched Real Madrid much this season, to be honest.
Yeah. When you see a ball going into the net and you see a defender right there kicking it out. Have you seen those players where the ball is already about to cross the line and the defender will come and scoop it off real quick before it goes across? That's when you know that defender is reading the game. Like, that's where this person is going to put that ball and I can catch it and get it and stop it from going in. If you can read the game, you can pass. That's it.
I have a friend who's a big Real fan, and then I watched Real games with him. And Real's been shit.
Yep.
They've been bad, real bad. And then let's go back to the Bale thing. Bale, have you seen? Do we not forget the crosses that he's made, like clear across the fields?
Yeah.
Yes.
That shows talent. I mean, his comments nobody should take out of context, but I still want Bale on that right wing.
To me, I understand what you're saying. That's where the problem counts, because the reason why I don't want him on the right wing is because we don't really have anybody behind him. You don't have anybody that you can guarantee that if you stay on the ball, you're gonna stop the ball from coming in, or you're not gonna commit any foul where it will become a special kick where that person is gonna put it inside the net.
Well,
You
I
know
think,
what I mean?
I think
So
what Mourinho likes to do, he likes to put Doherty behind him.
that's that's a disaster about to happen. It's just like you are putting Dyer behind them.
Okay, so
You
why
don't
not?
do that.
Why not? Okay, here's my question, right? If there's nobody that can play in behind him, and we don't have a really a good partner that can fill in that gap, why not
Maybe-
play Sissoko, or not Sissoko, but Eric Lamela as a number 8 to the right side of Højbjerg behind Bale?
I'm thinking maybe Taganga will be better because Taganga doesn't go forward.
You could have Tanganga's right back and he'd be fine. I think if you had Tanganga in behind Gareth Bale, you'd be fine. Not only is he's young and quick enough and he's got the legs and the endurance to keep his legs about him, but I think that he, yeah.
Can I ask you guys a question? What is wrong in playing Bale as number 10 or 9?
I don't think he wants to.
He does drift. He tends to drift centrally
Right.
in the game. I've noticed.
So why don't you just play in Real Madrid? It was playing 9.
Oh,
Well,
you mean
Mourinho said.
he didn't care?
And honestly, I think Michael's right here. Because in those 2 games where Bale scored both of his braces, Aurier was the one behind him, and we didn't have any problems at all.
I mean, this also goes back to our main problem is our back line. I mean,
That's the thing. It comes back to the same thing Jose has been screaming about. I don't have no defender, guys. I cannot pull everybody.
And I think it's a cop out. If you have 11 players on the pitch, right? If you have 11 players on the pitch, obviously Reece is in goal, so that's 10, right? If you have one player who's not as maybe defensively active as the others, that shouldn't hurt you that bad. There shouldn't be gaping holes on all sides of the field. The problem is that Bale doesn't track back, and the right backs are crap. Right? That's the problem.
There you go. Even not only that. To me, you said that there are 10 players playing. To me, I think I only see 6 players playing, even though there are 11 on the field. I only see 6. So if you're in a team, if only 6 playing and the other 4, other than the goalkeeper, are just there, not doing anything, you are, you don't have a right back, you don't have a 2 center back, and you don't have a midfield to support Højbjerg. The only person you have is Dombele, but Dombele cannot be playing every game like Højbjerg. It cannot. Dombele cannot play 90 minutes of game.
So can't Højbjerg to either. I mean, if we don't have Højbjerg,
you see what happens when you see what happened when he started playing that.
You need a new CDM.
I really do. He started to decrease, and the reason, one thing I do see that since Dombele have been playing beside Højbjerg, if you notice very, very, very well, Højbjerg cannot drop back anymore. Remember in the beginning when we used to play counteracting game, Sissoko is the one beside him. Then he would drop back to help the defender. He always drop back to help the defender. But because Dombele dribbles a lot and he loses the ball a lot, you cannot have it. You cannot just leave him there by himself.
Yeah, he's kind of he can't let that distance get.
Yeah,
he can get some. He can get sucked forward because Ndombele runs forward too much.
Yeah.
The great thing always about Sissoko, he's great about getting the ball, but he can't
do anything with it.
Score.
Yeah, he can't do anything with it. He moves. He can't do nothing with it.
Yeah.
Me with a dad bod at 40 could score more goals. I can at least put it on target. Only because I can't kick it that far. That's the reason why.
On South Beach.
All right, guys. Well, last words, and then we're gonna head out. We're at 3 hours and 20 minutes tonight. We are ranting Tottenham Hotspur.
You see the comment?
I think the thing in the comments about Tanganga or Jaffet. I mean, he'd be great at right back. Great at right back.
Yeah.
So before we go, I forgot about Mexico Spurs. If Bale's such a good reader game, how couldn't he see that Doherty needed help against Tyranny? I think he could. I think he could see it. And if you actually saw him, first part of the first half, you didn't see him near as deep. And then towards the second half, you could start seeing him showing up right at the edge of the box. The problem was that the number 8 was not picking up the runner.
Well, the problem there was the lack of passion.
There you go. I love that.
Arsenal against the Arsenal game and the Zagreb game. I mean, the passion. I mean,
No, it's not like that. It's not.
Will, I see you on multiple platforms all the time, and I follow you, and the passion that we all have as fans.
There you go.
He did not show that passion.
There you go.
Doherty?
That's the problem.
Of course, too, but I think it's just he's got slow reaction time. If you watch, when Tyranny would make his runs, it would take Doherty a good full 3-4 seconds to turn. It's like, where did you think he was going to go? And I honestly, I think that when with certain people, I think there's a lack of communication. I really do. Like, I don't see the midfield. If Højbjerg's not out there, breaking heads and screaming, yelling, I don't see.
Why do everybody have to expect Højbjerg to do everything? He's not the captain.
He
He's
should
just a
be.
squad player.
I wish he was a captain, to be honest with you. Give him the armband, as far as I'm concerned.
He's El General. He's El General, man.
Player. How far can you go when you're saying, are you the captain? Why are you telling me what to do? You're not the captain. You can't tell me what to do.
No, I'm sure that happens. I absolutely believe that happens. But the problem is that they should give him the armband right now. I think if Hugo's not going to sign the contract, if Hugo's already said he's not signing a contract, they should have given him the armband right now. They should give him that armband.
We're getting Pope next year, I think, and then
but even with Pope, Højbjerg needs to get that armband, because I think Højbjerg would go in there and just start chucking benches and tipping over tables and slamming guys up against the wall and shaking the.
Will I will
Højbjerg has man smell.
I don't know why, but for some reason I rewatched the Ajax highlights and I watched the post-match interviews. And then I remember that Kane went in there on halftime and like raised hell in his sort of like pensionate way. He's like, "Oh, hey, let's do this, guys. Come on." But hey, it worked. So should Kane be captain too?
Yeah.
I don't think Harry Kane has.
But,
you remember the match talk like this? It actually got memed out. There's this like everyday Arsenal. I don't know, but there's an Arsenal channel that they always meme out, mostly AFTV, and make fun of AFTV. It's really funny, to be honest with you. Maybe it's cricket records. No. I mean, like this. He's an Arsenal supporter. It's an Arsenal channel, and it's really funny. If you look in his playlist, most of his earlier videos were just kind of like pre-match stuff. And then he switched to memeing AFTV, like Thai memes, like it's raining. I mean, it's hilarious. It's probably cricket records, to be honest, because his sense of humor seems like the same dude. But I think it's called I can't remember the name of the channel. It's like Everyday Arsenal or I can't. I'll tweet it out if I can find it. But so follow me on Twitter if you're not following me on Twitter.
We'll say a new rule for the Will channel. Every time you say Arsenal, you have to drink.
I don't have beer tonight, but I will. I would do that. That could be a rule. But I mean, it's just so funny because I think but they memed Harry Kane's pre-match talk from the Amazon documentary.
Oh yeah.
And it was pretty poor. Like, I could give a better pre-match talk than that. I mean, honestly, like, he said the F word a couple times, but it's not even like there was passion behind the F word, right? Like, he wasn't. I think Højbjerg would go in there and just be like, blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean? Like, serious. Like, you could feel the man smell coming out of that pre-match talk.
Right. Yeah. While he's bleeding, too.
Yeah, while he's bleeding.
Yeah. I mean, anytime he does this stuff with passion, you can see. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. That's what I was saying. That's what I'm saying with Bale. That's why I'm still coming back to Bale. Like, if Bale would just have half of Kane's passion, just half, Not even all of it, just half of it. Just cut into half. If you see how Kane moved from striker to number 10 to number 8 to number 6, you're wondering like, why is this guy moving up and down to defend? Even when it comes to corner kick, you see Kane inside the goal post like a goalkeeper. The first time I saw him heading the ball out, I thought that was Luis. I was like, wow, that's Harry Kane inside the goal post. I was like, golly, thank God. You saved that
Well,
goal
it's not surprising on a
so
set
good.
piece.
Like, oh my God, you saved the goal. But
Yeah.
do you imagine Bale going that far? That is what I'm talking about.
If you watch closer, I think a lot of people kind of get focused on things. If you look closer at the games, so my son for his development, we do the same we call game study. So we watch the game for entertainment the first time, and then we'll go back and we'll actually watch the game and we'll write down things. So it's like what went well for each player, and it would be even better if this player had done this instead of that. And so I really get a chance to go back and rewatch the games with more of a analysis type mindset versus an entertainment. And I trust me, do you know how hard and difficult it was to watch that Arsenal match twice or the Cyber game twice? I mean, it was painful. It was painful enough the first time. The second time,
you're gonna have bad news about bad news about bad news.
Yeah, bad nightmares. But
Brutal.
But that's why I think that sometimes my views tend to be not quite as emotionally charged, and it's because I have to go back and rewatch it after the fact, after the passion's gone, right? I already know what happened. It's like watching a game that you already know the score of, right? It's not near as exciting as watching it live. But because I look for things like that, and Gareth Bale is he's in the defensive third, just inside or outside the box quite a bit, quite more than you expect. And that's why I think people don't realize that his defensive statistics are higher than Bergwijn's and Lamella's with 5 less appearances. And I just don't think people have realized that point.
You know what it is? Is the commentators, the commentators in that game, they're just,
trash him. Bale's not getting back. And watch it back again. Go back to the Arsenal game again if you can stomach it and watch. And I think you'd be surprised to see that Bale does a little bit more than I think people give him credit for. But that being said, yeah, go ahead.
Can I say this? Okay. You guys tell me as fans, if you were the player, why should you care when the board doesn't give a F about anything that's going on? Because me as a player, like I said, I look left and right in Europe. I'm not a good player, but I want to look for a place I can go and be making money and sit back and just make money for the rest of my career. Tottenham Hotspur is the best place to go because the board doesn't care and the players doesn't care. So why not just go there and sit back and just enjoy the money? And that's what
he did. He enjoyed the money. I think, like you said, their Euros were happening this year, and he can't play for his country. This is either his last. He's either done after the Euros or he's done after the World Cup, right? I mean, that
he already kind of his agent already said, "Oh, he's getting old. He might be done." But look at Ronaldo.
But Ronaldo's a different beast, dude. You're talking about. You're talking. Well, Zlatan's a freak of nature. Okay, the dude probably drinks a pint of vodka, smokes a pack of cigarettes, eats 10 cheeseburgers, and still goes out and scores 2 goals on the weekend, right?
I know.
For Christ's sakes, his name is Zlatan. I mean, Jesus.
But
like, ugh.
And Cristiano Ronaldo. Let me finish my rant on the 3 of them. Cristiano Ronaldo is such a narcissist, vain person with such a low self-esteem that he's literally the guy that as soon as practice is done, he gets in the ice bath, takes his protein shake, gives himself some injections of whatever he has to give himself, whatever supplements he needs. Not that I'm saying he's taking steroids or anywhere, but just other supplements. You know, he's probably got him in IVs versus drinking them, right? And the vitamins are going in, and he's riding his bike in the water. Like, he's that guy that takes such good care of himself physically that it's completely different, right? Like, the only person on the so I mean, they're completely different. And like with Zlatan, like Michael said, that Zlatan's his own species, and I think maybe it was Mexico Spurs supporters club said that I was the Chuck Norris of the Spurs continent.
Yeah.
Well, I can tell you right now,
look like it.
the only person that Chuck Norris is afraid of is Zlatan Ibrahimovic. Let's put it that way, right? Like, that's the only person that Chuck Norris is afraid of. So.
So because the reason why I'm saying that is goddamn 40 years old, man. I mean, you are 31. You're already complaining. Oh, I'm after the Euros World Cup, I'm done. I might be done. But, you know, you're like, come on, be passionate. Wake up, fight for yourself. Not even the badge. Just fight for yourself. Let people know that you could still be great again. You know, that's all. That's always we are saying as a fan. We're paying you $235,000 a week, not even a year. A week in America, even if you're making $235,000 a year, you know how much that is in your pocket.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm like, all we're asking is put a little bit passion. Even if you're gonna pretend like you're interested. Even if you're disinterested, just pretend, you know?
Right.
Just pretend. Just pretend like, oh, I'm interested, but we know you're not interested, but just at least pretend. Fake it. You know, if you're with a girl, you cannot come, a girl wanna come, they fake it. You know, just fake it. Goddamn, fake it on the field.
I think Gareth Bale's put in. Oh, we lost you.
Don't make us look like so let us see on the field that you are disinterested for the game. Then you went to get a game and lose it.
I don't think Bale shows that he's disinterested.
In the Arsenal, he did. It was obvious.
No,
he did.
I don't think. I don't
He
think.
walked
So.
away
disagree with
so
that as well.
angry. He didn't even say hello to Jose. Jose was trying
We
to
all-
again. He just walked away.
Can we all agree that Lucas Moura is the one who looks like he's most interested on the field?
Yeah, I like Mourinho.
Yeah.
And that's how we should all imagine ourselves being that way.
Yeah. Because to me, I think we as the fan, we are the one playing. We can play better than they are playing. That's the worst part of this thing. Like, we can play. If I give you the ball,
I
can
couldn't.
keep the ball better.
Oh, no.
You know, I'm just saying, like,
Unless it was PlayStation or something.
the passion is there when you know it's time to kick the ball. Like I said, I'm a 6 second guy. If the moment the ball stays on your feet more than 6 seconds, then you can't do anything with the ball, because it will take 15 to 20 seconds for the defender to run across the field and stay on their position. So if you have the ball for 6 seconds and you're keeping it more than 6 seconds, it's over. You can't make it there anymore.
So I got to respond to this comment here real quick. And Crickets, you can clip this and meme it if you want to. But Troops, I'm 6'5". If I were to stand next to Troops, he would have to stand on a stool like Za has to stand on a stool to talk to him. Let's put it that way, right? So greater than, more subscribers, more famous, yes. Greater in stature, no. I'm 6'5", 210 pounds, so he can.
Wow. Well,
I'm a big dude.
Wow.
Well, I mean, I just take the moment here to say, hey, thanks, man, for the platform and what you're doing with We Are Tottenham TV, Irish Hotspur, and it's awesome. And I for giving us a moment to be able to talk. So appreciate it, man.
Yeah, I thought Bill would look pissed when he got subbed off against Arsenal too. I don't think he wanted to do that at all. But I don't know. I've watched it twice, emotionally and unemotionally, so I just have a different. But I have much more man smell than Troops.
The guys on ESPN said it's better for that game. It's better to play with 10 men than even with him on.
We
there.
did play with 10 men. That's the problem.
I'm saying.
We played for 10
But-
men for the like 70 minutes of the match.
But for some reason, when we started playing without Lamela, we looked better. Even Arsenal was scared. Arsenal was scared with 10 men.
Yeah.
We look way better with 10 men.
That's because you have to play with 10 men. There's a psychological thing that makes you
Even
turn it on.
Oteta was telling everybody, go back and defend. Go back and defend. Don't
No,
play
they got
with
lucky.
No,
That was a
they
I'm
were
telling you right
scared.
now,
They were scared with 10 men. They were
They can-
scared.
they can banter all they want to.
And I'm
But,
like, what are you guys looking for 80 minutes? You were laughing around. You were goggling around. Then the last 10 minutes of the game, you were like playing.
You know, I felt like this whole year, I was like, isn't it sad how we go up 1-0 and I still feel nervous? You know, like, I mean, you're up 1-0. You should be happy. And like, we score a goal, we're up 1-0, and I'm like, damn, fuck, I'm still nervous.
Yeah.
Right?
Especially the last 10 minutes of the game, I'm almost falling off my chair
Oh,
because it's too painful. It's too painful.
I know.
It's
That's why I always say is like you shoot a bullet against a wall, and
I
then
know.
I'm gonna get through
Okay.
the wall.
That
So-
West Ham one almost literally made me cry. That West Ham one was the painful. Well, I mean, at the last 93 minutes, oh my God!
How many games have we lost like that?
Like
Or
that.
drawn
A
like
lot.
that?
At the last minute, like you almost falling off. Like, oh my God!
Like, you
Oh my God.
keep pecking
Yeah, I know.
right through. You know.
I know. What are you waiting for? Why are you so slow? Kick the ball in. I mean, why do they wait the whole night? Because I heard very well on Gold. You know Gold, right?
What?
Gold said that he
Alistair Gold,
heard Mourinho because is a journalist. He said, I heard Mourinho on the stands telling the players. You know, I've heard different things saying that it's Mourinho. Everybody blame him. He said, I heard Mourinho telling the players to attack the whole time. He said, but the players
Oh, really?
go and sit back. And I'm like, wow. You are intentionally sabotaging the game. That was what they
I
were
agree.
doing.
But hey, guys, I'm gonna tell you right now. It is 2:00 in the morning. We've been on here for 3.5 hours.
Okay.
Great stream. So I'm gonna have to cut you guys off. We gotta save some passion for Friday because I'll be going live again on Friday.
Yeah.
So thanks for coming on.
Yeah.
Awesome, all you've been great.
Thank
James, Joyce, you're welcome back at any time as well. You've been awesome too.
Come on, you Spurs.
Yep, come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.
Thanks to Jose and thanks for 92 Flamer as well. And you guys have been great. Andre was his name. You guys have been great.
Yeah.
We'll see you next time. Take it easy, my man. I got you. Anyway, what a great stream. It's 3 hours and 35 minutes. You guys are crazy. We could talk about this stuff all night long, right? All night long. But unfortunately, this has been, not only do I stream here, but I stream a couple other places too, in different things than that. And this is my like 5th day in a row streaming. But this is by far my favorite one. Yes, 3 hours, 35 minutes. You guys have been a great audience. If you're watching this and you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. These videos, even though they're 3 hours, 3.5 hours, are getting like 300-400 views. And yeah, only about half of those people have subscribed. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Even the Arsenal fan, hit that subscribe button. And we'll see you next time. Remember to stay strong, stay Spurs, and good night.